I'm Dan Patrick. Take your lunch break with us as we chew on the absurdities of sports on the Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays noon to 3 right here on The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
Let the good times roll with the fun of Kernel Baseball in The Zone. With the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, here's the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
And we welcome you to the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show in Davenport, Iowa, where the Kernels won here in impressive fashion Thursday night in the series opener over the swing of the Quad City 4-1. The Kernels played a magnificent game until the bottom fell out of the roof caved in last night in the eighth inning. Quad City rallied for 3 runs in the eighth inning to tie the game at 4, and then they won it on a 2-out base hit up the middle by their number 9 hitter Simon Williams in the bottom of the ninth inning. A 5-4 swing win last night, and that sets the stage for Game 3 of this 4-game series. The sun is trying desperately to peer through the clouds above on a Saturday afternoon that will have the temperatures in the mid-50s. A big crowd expected. It's a big hospital day here. One of the big hospitals is treating all their employees and families to the fun of minor league baseball. Up next, Billy Boyer will join us from John O'Donnell Stadium on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Stay tuned. This is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
A triple play, a rarity on the diamond, but produced successfully every day at South Slope Communications in North Liberty. The South Slope Communications Triple Play consists of voice, video, and data communications for your home or business. Achieve your communications triple play with South Slope Communications. South Slope is committed to providing the latest communications technology to their members while continuing to give service second to none. South Slope can provide your home or business with just about everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
With the Kernel 4-game series against the swing of the Quad City, even at a game apiece, Billy Boyer is our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on this Saturday afternoon. And, Billy, it's always fun to talk about day baseball. Statistics have shown that hitters have a slight edge during day baseball, that they hit at a little bit higher average. What's your thought on that?
To me, it's just the lighting, of course. I mean, playing under lights there's always going to be shadows on the balls, no matter how good the lights are. Playing during the day, it's natural light. Your eyes are more used to it. It's just, to me, it's just the lighting.
It makes sense. Billy, you look a lot more comfortable and confident in your second year as a Colonel, and I think that's due to a couple of reasons. One, another year of experience and seasoning. Two, you're a little bit physically stronger. You've also decided to bat exclusively right-handed. Was that a tough decision that you made in conjunction with Ty Van Berkelio, the Angel Roving hitting instructor, or did you talk it over with anybody?
It was a tough decision, actually. You know, they brought it up to me, and they said, give it a go in spring training, and I went up there my first at-bat and hit a home run in the first pitch on a right-on-right, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And then after that, you know, it's been kind of a slow process of learning how to read the right-handed curveball right-on-right, and it's still an ongoing process, but, you know, just trying to get better every day and be more confident in there and hopefully start, you know, driving some balls, so.
Billy, you bring up a good point. It's a real challenge and very tough to learn how to switch hit. And from what I heard, you're saying it's also a challenge and tough to deprogram yourself and learn that right-on-right matchup. The whole point of switch hitting is that if you're a left-handed batter, that breaking pitch comes into you. So far, so good, but it is a learning curve.
Right. It is definitely a learning curve, picking up that curveball early out of the right-hander's hand. Left-handed, or left-handers, I haven't had a problem at all. I've been, hitting that curveball. Right-handed, it's been a challenge, picking it up early and staying on it and staying through it. So it's definitely been a challenge, but hopefully, like I said, getting better every day, doing some vision drills and just looking to drive some balls here pretty quick. So.
Would vision drills, Billy, be done in batting practice? Would they be done off the tee? Would they be done without a pitcher? That's an interesting term, vision drills.
Yeah, it's just a front toss drill, which is someone will just toss the ball to you underhand, and you got a specific range in the zone that you're concentrating on. Anything outside that zone you take, and it's actually starting to help. It's a slow process, but it's starting to come around. So.
Billy Boyer is our guest from Davenport, the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. And Billy, you accompanied us earlier this spring to a couple of schools to help us tout our Toyota Financial Services Gazette Kernel Summer Reading Program. You're very comfortable with kids. You like kids, and you're used in the off-season. I know you like working with kids, baseball-related.
Yeah, it's a good chance for me to go out there and coach, which I love doing with kids and stuff. I like to do the younger ages, between 10 and 15 in that range, but because they're getting more into it a little bit more. But as far as being comfortable around, yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, there's no pressure, and they look up to me as a ball player, and I get to go out there, and at the same time I get to teach myself and make sure that I know what I'm talking about, and I teach myself as well as them. So
that's one of the best things about being an educator. In your case, in the off season, Billy, essentially you're a tutor, and you have to know the subject matter and know how to present it. So that helps you define some things in your mind. How do you get clients, or how do you get business as a baseball instructor in the off season?
It's pretty much through word of mouth. But there are some coaches that I've played for previously that hook me up with facilities, and they bring me in to run their camps and all that kind of stuff. So but for the most part, it's word of mouth, and other than that, it's thank God for other coaches that like to have me come out.
Referrals.
Yeah, exactly.
Billy doesn't have to advertise. They come to him. We're going to take a break. From Davenport, Billy Boyer, Kernel middle infielder, is our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest. We'll have a final word with Billy in a moment. This is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
I'll live for you. I'll feed your cats. I'll fold your undies at the laundromat. Unless you want me to have them dry, I can pay for that. I'll work things out. Things get bad. I'll shave my soul patch before I meet your dad. I'll wear a turtleneck to strategically hide my tattoos if I can. I'm quitting the bed, 'cause I'm winning your head. I'm feeding you all my time, but this Dr. Pepper is mine. Rich taste, forget it. This Dr. Pepper is mine. One taste and you get it. I'm shocked with you, always be true. I'll never share my Dr. Pepper with you. This Dr. Pepper is mine. One taste and you get it. So rich. This Dr. Pepper is mine. Refreshing taste, drink it by the case. This Dr. Pepper is mine. It isn't even a word.
Billy Boyer is our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest. And Billy, I thought we'd switch gears for just a second and talk about track season. This is a big weekend in Iowa, the Drake Relays. It's one of the three most prestigious track meets in all of the United States, has a long tradition, and you have kind of a neat background as far as track and field.
Yeah, in junior high, the baseball scene at my school wasn't real big, and there was an 8th grade team and a 7th grade team, and 7th graders couldn't make the 8th grade team, so I decided to run track instead, and, things kind of led to one thing to another, but as far as, I was kind of maybe ahead of my time when it came to running and jumping at that time, so high jump, long jump, stuff like that,
came natural to you, and you did well. You're being humble, but you did well, didn't you, Billy?
Yeah, I did pretty well. I never got beat. It was just one of those things where I just kind of sat around and waited for everybody to end and would go jump one time and it would be over. So,
what did you high jump as an 8th grader?
I didn't high jump in 8th grade, but as a 7th grader, I jumped 6'1". So,
and long jump?
And the long jump was about 23 feet. So I did okay.
Well, that's neat, Billy. Do you ever have an inkling to get back on the track, or are those days behind you?
No, but there was a couple times this winter where we went to the Dempsey Center, which is the University of Washington indoor facility, and they have an indoor track there. And I did the high jump a couple times with a couple buddies, but not like I used to. I'm kind of out of shape when it comes to that. But I get up there every once in a while and just see what I can do still. But
I'm sure it helps you around the bag at second when you're turning a double play to be able to use those athletic moves. Billy, finally, the big club, the Los Angeles Angels, have been kind of a marquee team the last couple of years because of their success, and they've been on television. They were on Sunday night, ESPN Baseball, and they were on again the other night when we had our off day. Do you like tuning in to watching the big club?
Yeah, every once in a while. I mean, it's kind of tough, playing every night, but on the off days, every once in a while we'll have the ball game on in the clubhouse, or if they're playing a day game and we're playing a night game. So every once in a while we get to see them play it, but for the most part it's mostly ESPN's, highlights and stuff like that. But, for the most part we don't really get a chance to see them play that much.
It is neat to see them, and I have to ask to finish up, do you think sometime, man, could I make that leap from A-ball and play a game for the Angels, and if I did, how could I do?
I think it's very possible. I mean, every minor league ball player knows it's a track to get there, and it's not an easy thing to do. But everybody knows in the back of their mind that they're going to do well, and they're going to strive to get there. And that's what I'm doing every day, is just trying to go out there and get better, and make my skills, and trying to master certain things, and I know other things will come along with that. So, if it does happen, then I know I'm going to go out there and have a good time with it, because, I mean, there's not very many people that get to play Major League Baseball in front of 50 or 60,000 fans in Yankee Stadium, or, in L.A. or wherever you want to go. So it's something that, everyone's looking forward to.
Well, Billy, I think you do a marvelous job not only expressing yourself, but I am impressed with your work ethic, the entire ball club's attitude. We've turned the corner a little bit recently, and things are going our way, and we really appreciate you taking this time before the afternoon contest to visit with us on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Billy, one staple, a real recognized name in Cedar Rapids is Zio Janos. They've been locally owned and operated, family owned and operated for 20 years. They have two fantastic new locations, one in Marion, one on the southwest side on Williams Boulevard, for the best in Italian cuisine. Nothing can top Zio Janos. Billy, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, John. I appreciate it.
Billy Boyer, our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest. We learned a lot from him. Up next, Todd Brummelkamp, Colonel Director of Public Relations and Media Operations, and I will set the starting lineups for Game 3 of our series against the Swing of the Quad Cities. This has been the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, In the Zone.
Honey, be careful. You know my brother does that for a living.
No problem. Just one more brick and this chimney will be good as new.
I'll, call my brother.
Need a home equity loan? Talk to your guarantee banker for a loan that's right for your kind of life.
Oh! What's the matter, John?
Look at these checking fees.
Look what we spend on stamps for our bills.
Need free checking and a whole lot more? See your guarantee banker for the checking and online bill pay solutions that are right for your kind of life.
Honey, I got the promotion.
Wonderful. Oh, but our house is way too small for a vice president.
What?
I saw this antebellum. 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, marble countertops in the kitchen, a jacuzzi, mahogany cabinets in the butler's pantry, a 3-car garage, and a nanny suite.
Nanny?
Need a mortgage? Talk to your guarantee banker for a loan that's right for your kind of life.
Guarantee Bank.
For your kind of life.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With the sun trying to peer through the overcast and cloud-filled skies, we have afternoon baseball for you here in the zone. Delighted to have you spend part of your weekend, your Saturday afternoon with us for Kernel Baseball. It's Game 3. The Kernels pitted against the St. Louis Cardinal minor leaguers in their first season affiliated here in Davenport, the Swing of the Quad Cities. And we've had 2 dandy ball games. The Kernels upended the swing Thursday night behind Jesse Smith's 5 strong innings, 4-1, and then the Kernels were in great shape until the bottom fell out of the game in the bottom of the 8th last night. The Kernels losing a 4-1 lead and bowing to the swing 5-4. The lineups are being turned in below. Bobby Magallanes, Colonel skipper, meeting with the hitting coach of the swing of the Quad Cities, Keith Mitchell. And let's give you those lineups. We're going to have a big crowd here this afternoon. It's a buyout situation. One of the local hospitals treating all their staff, employees, and their families to the fun of Midwest League Baseball. So we'll have a crowd of nearly 4,000. First of all, for the swing of the Quad City, their starting lineup is penciled in by their skipper, Joe Cunningham. Joe is a 41-year-old St. Louisan who played several years in the Cardinal minor league system. His father was a longtime Cardinal front office employee and played professional baseball in the big leagues. Joe Cunningham, in his 11th season managing in the St. Louis system, has Matt Lemancic leading off in left field. He's a speedster. Switch hitting shortstop Matt Shepard will bat second for Quad City. Hitting third, he has 3 doubles in the series. Over Jake Mullinex is at third base, batting 7th. Hitting 8th for the swing is their right fielder Wes Sweckhammer. He homered for the only Quad City run here in the Colonel win Thursday night. Simon Williams is batting 9th in center. Williams delivered the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 9th with 2 out last evening. On the hill for the swing is a right-hander, Dennis Dove. He's making his way in for the left field bullpen before this big crowd. Dennis is a 6'4", 205-pound right-hander from Georgia Southern University, a Cardinal high draft pick 2 seasons ago, a third-round selection by the Redbirds. Dennis Dove, spelled just like the bird, D-O-V-E, or the soap. Dennis is 0-2 on the year, making his 5th start, and a high ERA of 5.32. Standing by to give us the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup is Colonel Director of Media Relations Todd Brummelkamp. Exciting news from Allen Motor Company. Their spring cleanup sale is winding down. It's your chance to clean up on great deals all over the campus at Allen's, including a 2005 GMC Sierra regular cab 2-wheel drive. It's the best-selling GMC work truck in America. Get them now at Allen's for just $299 a month leasing. This sale ends, the spring cleanup sale at Allen ends shortly on May 2nd. That's Monday at 9 o'clock. Allen's is open late until 5 this evening. As the swing take the field, here's Todd Brummelkamp with the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup.
Thank you, John. Leading off for the Kernels and playing center field as he has the other 2 games this series will be number 9, Richard Giannotti. We'll get our first look at Jason Ramos in this series. He'll bat second and play second base. Jason, the son of Los Angeles Angels roving catching instructor and former major leaguer Bobby Ramos. Batting third and playing shortstop will be number 8, Sean Rodriguez. Sean looking to break out of a recent funk that he's been in most of the season. Warner Madrigal will bat fourth in the cleanup role and play right field. Warner had a big home run last night and really appears to be coming around as he's fixed a hole in his swing. Batting fifth and playing third base, Freddy Sandoval. Ben Johnson, the former catcher, will play first base and bat sixth. Aaron Peel, the big Texan, will bat seventh and DH tonight. Michael Collins, the Australian catcher, will be behind the plate batting eighth. And batting ninth in left field, former high draft pick of the Angels, Jordan Wren. On the mound for the Kernels tonight is Fernando Rodriguez, Jr. Fernando is 1-0 this year, and he'll be looking for his second victory of the year as the Kernels take on the swing here at beautiful, beautiful John O'Donnell Stadium for this day baseball game. And that is a look at your Allen Motors Kernels starting lineup.
Thanks, Todd. Let's honor America now with the singing of the national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed as it white and gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
The temperature in the mid-50s, and the wind is blowing out briskly towards left field. That could be a big factor in Game 3 of this series. It's the 9-12 Kernels against the 9-11 Swing of the Quad Cities. Todd Brummelkamp, Colonel Director of Media Relations, and I will have this afternoon's call for you in 1 minute here in the Zone.
A triple play, a rarity on the diamond, but produced successfully every day at South Slope Communications in North Liberty. The South Slope Communications triple play consists of voice, video, and data communications for your home or business. Achieve your communications triple play with South Slope Communications. South Slope is committed to providing the latest communications technology to their members while continuing to give service second to none. South Slope can provide your home or business with just about everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
Wind blowing out strong towards left field. A big crowd, especially down the left field line. A bleacher section that parallels the left field line is full of kids and their parents clad in sweatshirts and jackets and blue jeans. It's a brisk Saturday afternoon. If the sun comes out, we'll be in much better shape. The Kernels hope to rebound from a tough loss here last night, blowing a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning and being whisked aside by Quad City 5-4. It's Richard Giannotti and Jason Ramos and Sean Rodriguez here in the top of the first inning. Richard Giannotti has 2 hits in this series in 9 trips. He doubled in the 5th last night. The Kernels are sporting a bit of a new look this afternoon. We're in our red knit batting practice tops with white numbers and wearing all blue caps. Justin Bachman coaches at first, Bobby Magallanes at third, and into his windup is Dennis Dove, and he delivers low for ball 1. Anderson and Brown Eye Care proud to present our umpiring duo. Nick Monaco behind the plate, and on the diamond his partner Jeff Lascola. Ball 2 skips in the dirt from Dennis Dove, and Todd, you do a lot of analytical research, and you found that it would behoove the Kernels to get to Dove early today.
That's right. Dennis struggles early on in the first inning and only gets stronger as the game goes on.
The 2-0 to Giannotti. He fakes the bunt and takes the strike. The infield for the Swing has Jake Mullinax at third, Matt Shepard at short, Jarrett Hoffpauir at second, and Mike Ferris at first. The outfield plays Giannotti very deep and to pull the ball. Richard instead lifts it into left. The wind carries it out towards the track. And in front of the track, it's caught by Matt Lemansik. Richard Giannotti has flown out to left, batting left-handed, and he got it up in the jet stream, and it carried further than a normal fly ball would have. The sun is trying to come out this afternoon, and let's hope it will.
John, opposing hitters are hitting .389 off Dove in the first inning of games, and that number gradually goes down until it jumps back up in the 4th inning. So it'll be key for the Kernels to get on him early.
Dennis misses low to the switch-hitting Kernel second baseman Jason Ramos. Ramos has yet to have a hit as a Kernel. He's nothing for 6 in 2 games. Those were in Lansing. Jason takes just outside for ball 2. The Swing outfield, Matt Lemansik in left. Simon Williams, one of the heroes of last night's Quad City come-from-behind win, is in center. And Wes Swackhammer is in right. The sun is out now as Jason Ramos looks at a strike at the knees. Jason's back foot is right on the chalk line. He's gradually creeping back further in the batter's box. He was with the Boston Red Sox organization, and Jason rolls one foul past first. The count even now to Jason Ramos. The Centennial Bridge, with its 5 beautiful arches, crosses the Mississippi River over into Moline, Illinois. Todd, we haven't told our listeners from out of town who love to tune in on the internet what 4 cities comprise the Quad Cities.
Actually, it's an interesting little hitch because there's actually 5 that make up the Quad Cities. Bettendorf and Davenport on the Iowa side, And then Moline, Rock Island, and East Moline on the Illinois side. East Moline is considered a major part of the Quad Cities. So 5 cities, Quad Cities. You go figure.
There's a pitch high that runs the count full to Jason Ramos. The payoff delivery is nubbed foul behind the plate to the on-deck hitter, Sean Rodriguez. We're delighted that you've decided to spend part of your Saturday afternoon with us. There's nothing quite like day baseball. Billy Boyer told us on the South Slope Communications Triple Play show that you can expect hitters to dial it up a notch because you see the ball just a little bit better. Ball 4. Jason Ramos saw that pitch well and laid off of it from Dennis Dove, and the Kernels, who unfortunately lead the league in strikeouts with 180, have drawn very few walks.
Actually, John, our performance the other night has sunk us into second place in the league in strikeouts. I believe I was looking earlier today.
That's a positive.
And that is a positive. The Western Michigan Whitecaps have 184 strikeouts. So
that's progress. We have struck out less recently, and that's good.
And that's good. And Jason Ramos getting a big fist knock from Justin Bachman down at first base, saying, "Way to take those pitches, buddy."
Sean Rodriguez, a .239 hitter in the early going, the first month of the year, takes strike one call, the fastball. Dove is a tall right-hander, 6'4", out of Georgia Southern University. So he's from Ty Cobb's home state. There's strike 2 to Sean Rodriguez. Sean just hasn't gotten on track yet, as Todd noted during his introduction of the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Sean seems to be just a little bit unsure of a plan at the plate. He'll come around, though, and when he does, somebody's going to pay, probably the entire Midwest League. Ramos, a short lead at first. Dove's delivery is a curve low and away. Dennis was beaten his last time out. That was Sunday here at John O'Donnell Stadium against Dayton. He went 5 innings, surrendered to the Dragons 5 runs in 5 innings on 10 hits, fanned a couple, and walked 1. He and the swing were defeated Sunday here at home against the Dragons.
Sean hitting just .212 against right-handed pitching. And
a fastball on the outside corner, and it was a called strike 3. Sean yelps a bit at the plate umpire in a respectful way, asking Nick Monaco, "Are you sure that was a strike on the outside corner?" And Monaco said, "Yes. Strike 3, Sean, you're out."
John, there's really no respectful way to go about that. As a former umpire, that has always gotten under my skin when a batter looks back there, but we both were able to see the pitch. You just chose to watch it back into the catcher's mitt. That was always my mental response inside.
Warner Madrigal homered here last night, and he takes a strike at the knees. Warner has upped his average to .246 by virtue of his 4-for-8 series here in Davenport. His 6th-inning blast onto the grass slope seating berm in left, which is well occupied this afternoon with fans, was his team-high 4th of the year, and it gave the Kernels a 3-1 lead.
All 4 of Warner's home runs this year have come off right-handed pitching, and he's hitting a healthy .280 against right-handers, as opposed to only 133 against southpaws. So this is a good matchup for Warner, especially, as you noted, with that brisk wind just rippling the American flag straight out to left field.
Dove is ahead 0-2 as he gets a fastball in at the letters on the outside edge. Jason Ramos is going to be picked off, perhaps. A throw to first and now down to second, and Ramos is picked off. It ends the inning, and it goes 1-3-6. Jason Ramos broke early, trying to steal second, and Dennis Dove stepped off the rubber and got him. The pickoff ends the Kernel first inning. No runs, no hits, a walk, a man picked off first. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave the bases empty. After 1/2 inning, with a good crowd still coming in to John O'Donnell Stadium, it's the Kernels nothing, Quad City coming up. This is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
When we met, it's forget, we would never forget the Ojanos. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try their delicious salads and sub sandwiches too. The Ojanos is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember the Ojanos with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
Hi, now Michaels with Miracles and Milestones, brought to you by the all-new Kia Spectra 5. More than two-thirds of the men who've coached teams to NBA titles played the sport professionally. Of the 26 coaches who have captured the title since Eddie Gottlieb's Philadelphia Warriors won the first one in 1947, 18 had previously played in either the NBA or the ABA. And two of those championship winners, Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics and Buddy Jeanette of the 1948 Baltimore Bullets, performed double duty, winning as player coaches.
If you just found yourself saying, yeah, I knew that, then you could be on your way to winning a new sport-tuned Kia Spectre 5 and other cool prizes. Just log on to ESPN.com, search Kia, and play the Kia Shoot-Around Challenge online trivia game. A lifetime of sitting on your butt watching basketball may finally pay off.
No purchase necessary. Open only to U.S. legal residents who are 21 or older as of the date of entry. Entries must be received by June 6, 2005. Must have valid U.S. driver's license to win grand prize. Void where prohibited. For official rules, go to ESPN.com, search Kia.
The swing of the Quad Cities, they own a 5-5 record here at John O'Donnell Stadium, a stone's throw from the Mississippi River that divides Illinois and Iowa. They're 4-6 on the road. They start play today in 5th place in the Western Division standings. The Kernels a half game behind Quad City, 6th place. Clinton setting a torrid pace atop the West. The Lumber Kings are 16-5. Then the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers 2 games off the pace are 14-7. Beloit's then 11-10. Those are the 3 teams that are above 500 in the division. Strike one called is in from Fernando Rodriguez to Matt Lemancic. Lemancic is hitting 181. Doubled and scored in the first last night. Scored on a wild pitch in the 8th to tie the game at 4. And there's strike 2. That's the forte of Fernando Rodriguez, Todd. He gets ahead of hitters very consistently.
That's right, and Fernando just has not had much luck this year so far, getting 3 no decisions in his 4 starts. His last outing was on the 25th, which I believe was at Lansing.
Yes, game 1 of a doubleheader following the 2 snowouts and a no decision and a Colonel come from behind 5-4 win.
Took him off the hook, 4 innings, 4 runs, 7 strikeouts, so he will strike out a lot of swing hitters today, especially as the Swing are one of the poorest offensive teams in the league.
They're hitting 223, Todd. That's in 14
of 14, with the Colonels 9 points ahead of them at 232.
Fernando has missed twice inside, now delivers outside, and all of a sudden the count's full to Matt Lemancic. Fernando Rodriguez, as is custom on a cool afternoon or cool evening, he does not wear sleeves underneath his Colonel jersey. Today it's a red batting practice top. Lemancic pops one in the air down the right field line. It's a foul ball. It blows back towards the line, and there's that Ben Johnson again, well down the first baseline into shallow right, fighting the stiff wind that brought that ball back almost fair. And Matt Lemancic has fouled out to Ben Johnson. Boy, I'll tell you, Todd, both Michael Collins and Ben Johnson have adapted so well to playing first base.
And, John, the thing I really liked about that was even though it was about 15 feet behind first base in foul territory, Jason Ramos was right next to Ben Johnson there in case the ball got away from him.
A ground ball through the middle. Rodriguez has it behind second and throws Matt Shepard out. That was terrific range shown by Sean Rodriguez. That ball was hit hard, and it jettisoned over the head of Fernando Rodriguez, and I thought once it got over his head, Todd, it would be in center field for a base hit.
I did too, but Rodriguez just materialized out of nowhere on the grass behind second base, scooped it up on one bounce, and did that sort of sidearm fling over to Johnson. It was a perfect straight as an arrow throw. Easy 6-3 put out.
No score with 2 out in the first, and rattling one foul straight back with a healthy cut is Jarrett Hoffpauir. 294 hitter. He's owned Colonel pitching so far in this series with 3 doubles and 7 trips. He drove in the game's first run last night with an RBI double. Hoffpauir stands straight up from the right side and has a narrow stance. Fernando Rodriguez wings one in outside ball 1. Part of the fun and excitement at Allen Motor Company this weekend, they're wrapping up their spring cleanup sale. 2005 Buick LaCrosses are just $21,710. That's the all-new dream car of 2005. And those 2005 Buick LaCrosses are just $21,710 at Allen Motor Company. Here's a pitch jackhammered foul into that bleacher section that's 95% full this afternoon, and let's hope that one didn't sting somebody pretty good.
Hoffpauir has faced right-handed pitching 57 times this year. Does fairly well. He's got 17 hits for a .298 batting average. He'll look to push himself over the 300 mark with a single or something here.
Another pitch hit hard but foul over the left field stands. It's still 2-2 to Jarrett Hoffpauir. Remember, Allen's is open until 5 this afternoon. Plenty of time for you to tune in to Colonel Baseball as you drive out to the campus. Chance to clean up on great deals. Ball 3 just low from Fernando Rodriguez, and the count full to number 1, Jarrett Hoffpauir.
Jarrett has certainly been hitting at a torrid pace in this series.
But Fernando Rodriguez pulled the string on him and gets him swinging on a changeup. Down in order go the Quad City swing in the bottom of the first inning. We're glad you're tuned in this afternoon. A lot of fun coming your way here from John O'Donnell Stadium. We're after one inning. It's the Kernels and Swings scoreless. You're listening to Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
Yes, spring is here. So is the bulky item cleanup in Cedar Rapids. Only specific wood and plastic articles are being accepted. The complete list is on the flyer you recently received in the mail. Be sure to check that flyer before putting out any items for city crews when they come to your neighborhood. If you have appliances, tires, and scrap metal you want to get rid of at no charge, follow the instructions on the back of the flyer. This reminder from your friends at Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling.
Knowing who you are is important. At Kirkwood Community College, we know who we are. We are accessibility. We are quality. We are opportunity. We are community. Who are you? We can help you learn. Kirkwood.edu.
You're driving your GMC Sierra to the home center to get supplies for your home improvement project. It's your third time here today, but this time you brought a list. As you pull your Vortec 285 horsepower shopping cart into the parking lot, you're happier than a spackler on stilts. You're living a do-it-yourself dream come true, because your Sierra has all the payload capacity you need to load up everything on your list. Where is that list? Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to. Cargo and load capacity limited by weight and distribution.
Right-hander Dennis Dove took care of the Kernels in pretty good shape in the first inning. He pitched out around a one-out walk to Jason Ramos by picking Jason off for the final out of the Kernel first. That means Warner Madrigal, who was in the hole 0-2, will have a chance to lead off here in the second. Great to have you with us. The Swing have a team ERA of 4.47. That's 13th in the 14-team Midwest League. A high drive to deep right. Now coming in is Wes Swackhammer, and he makes a shoestring catch. I'm not sure he made the catch, Todd, and that ball fooled me off the bat because Warner's been hitting with such authority. He actually hit it off the end of the bat, and Swackhammer was fooled by it like I was. Wes, somehow, I'm still not sure he didn't trap that ball. He caught it.
It was a pretty clean catch, but he made the easy seem awfully difficult there by losing track of it off the bat. But I'm with you, John. Warner's been hitting the ball so well, I thought maybe that was going to find the berm.
Freddy Sandoval stands in, the switch hitter, batting left, and ball one, a fastball low to Freddy. Sandoval's hitting .238. He leads the club with 13 runs driven in. He has one home run. Freddy slashes one foul straight back to the screen. Sandoval is 2 for 7 in the series, 1 for 4 last night. Another switch hitter, Ben Johnson, waiting on deck. The Kernels have 4 switch hitters in their lineup today. Giannotti, Ramos, this batter, Sandoval, then the on-deck hitter. Ooh, Freddy was almost hit by a pitch that hit about 5 feet in front of the plate and then almost skipped into Freddy's legs.
Freddy's father, of course, I believe is a mathematics professor?
Engineering and architecture.
Engineering and architecture.
Would take mathematics to learn.
That's right. He's got
ball 3 is high to Freddy Sandoval.
Mentioned that if his family ever comes to town, maybe they could hook up with Jesse Smith's family. Jesse told me that he has a brother that is very adept at mathematics, went to the University of Nebraska.
A high fly ball drifting down the left field line. It's foul, and it lands beyond the reach. The man that got nearest to it was the shortstop, Matt Shepard. As Freddy runs the count full, he poked that one off the end of the stick. You know, another interesting place for Freddie's father to visit with his engineering background, of course, would be Rockwell College.
That's right. I'm sure he's well versed in the work that they do over there, and I'm sure he could bounce a couple ideas off some people over there. Freddie, hitting 238 and looking to add to that.
He does, as he rips a single into right to the left of Jarrett Hoffpauir at second. Freddy Sandoval has the first Kernel hit of the day. I was really tongue-tied there.
The Fernal curse, whatever.
Wow, the first Kernel hit by Freddy Sandoval. Again, the great deals at Allen's last until tomorrow night at 9. They're open until 5 this afternoon. Their spring cleanup sale. 2,000 Ford Tauruses are just $12,995 at Allen's.
Oh, they get an extra day on that. That's Monday.
Yes, Monday till 9.
And today's only Saturday.
And today
time stands still, John, when you're in this business and you lose track.
That's right. Tomorrow's Sunday. There are two days you can look at Allen's tomorrow. They won't be open, but you can sure look around and then come back Monday. They're open till 9. That'll be the final day of the spring cleanup sale. Ben Johnson with the runner holding it first. Lays off one just low from Dennis Dove. Boy, we've had a lot of guys with the name of Birds, including pitchers named Bird. There's Paul Bird. There's Dennis Bird. There was Mike Parrott.
There was a basketball player named Bird a while ago. He wasn't very good, though. He didn't stick around.
Here's a high fly ball that'll be caught in left by Matt Lemancic in front of the track. He has it. So far, those balls in into left have not been wind-aided like I thought they would. Ben Johnson, who didn't play last night, has flown out to left for the second out of the Kernel's second inning.
You would think there's a jet stream out there, by the way the flag is reacting to the wind, but as you said, it's almost like they're dying. It's almost like the wind is blowing in instead of out. And, we'll see. It's going to take a line drive, apparently, today to clear that blue fence, that 8-foot-high fence out in left field.
Aaron Peel didn't play last night. He was 1 for 4 in the Kernel win here Thursday night. Right-handed batter, and ball one low and outside.
Aaron just might do it. He's got some pop in his bat, and
he hit 3 home runs in this ballpark last year to start the second half of the season. We played the swing 8 straight times, and I remember Aaron belting 3 home runs in this very ballpark last year in late June after the All-Star game in Cedar Rapids. A throw to first, and Freddy Sandoval with 4 steals and 5 tries returns safely head first. The Kernels are second in the league in steals with 30 stolen bases in 21 games.
Both of Aaron's home runs this year have come off right-handed pitching.
Another toss to first.
Aaron gets a base hit safely exactly once every 4 trips to the plate against right-handed pitchers. He's hitting an even 250 on the year against the righties.
2 homers, 8 RBIs for Aaron Peel from the Lone Star State of Texas. He rattles one foul behind the plate, strike one. The river is kind of a gray color today. Not quite enough wind to form whitecaps on the Mississippi, but almost. Todd, there are some rather substantial ripples and waves, but not quite whitecaps.
Not quite whitecaps. And speaking of the whitecaps, they are 11 and 10 out in the east, almost in the same boat that we are, hovering around the 500 plateau as Dove again goes over to first base just to keep Freddie honest.
Freddie dove back in hand first. Both the berms here this afternoon are well occupied by fans. There's a berm over the 8-foot-high wall in right. It's about 10 feet. There goes the runner in a high pop foul drifting towards the backstop. Brady Toops discards his mask, and it hits up against the screen, and Aaron Peel and the Kernels get a break as Toops could have had that foul ball, but it hit the screen at the last moment. Those grass slope seating berms are a wonderful feature of this ballpark, Todd. The grass slope seating berm in left is about twice the length or the room. The one in right doesn't have much steepness to it, nor is it very wide or long because the river's right behind it.
Yes, absolutely. I strolled out there the other day before the ballpark opened up just to sort of take in the view out there, and it's just absolutely beautiful now that there's another throw over to Freddie at first base.
The crowd thought they had Freddie.
A pretty close one, but it's very nice because you can walk the entire circumference of the ballpark now, and if you want to in the middle of the game, take a stroll from left field out behind center along the banks of the river all the way around to right field. It's just an absolutely gorgeous view today as the sun has finally broken through the clouds here, and
let's keep it out. Aaron Peel holds up on a pitch in the dirt, a snap throw down to first by the catcher Brady Toops out of the University of Arkansas, and that one almost again had Freddy Sandoval. Freddy's getting a workout over there and getting some good practice belly flopping time and time again back into first base. Aaron Peel with 2 out and the go-ahead run in this scoreless game at first, trying to measure one off against Dennis Dove, the tall right-hander. Ball 3, low and away a fastball, clocked at 91 miles an hour according to the Quad City Times speed pitch indicator.
John, I look around this ballpark with the earthen berms out in right and left field, and and the lack of advertising really here on the walls, and I can't help but think of spring training complexes, how most of them have berm seating in the outfield.
There goes the runner, and a smash to third, a nifty play by Mullinex. He throws low, but gets Aaron Peel. Boy, Aaron Peel had to have his bouncer short hopped at third on a backhand play by Jake Mullinex, and then Mullinex threw out Aaron from third to end the inning. No runs for the Kernels, but the game's first hit by Freddy Sandoval. There were no swing errors. The Kernels strand 1 man. On this gorgeous but cool Saturday afternoon, it's the Kernels nothing, Quad City nothing, as we go to the bottom of the second. You're enjoying Kernel baseball today in the Zone.
So, you finally get home from one of those impossibly stressful days. You're exhausted, your feet hurt, and you throw yourself on the couch to relax and read the Gazette. You've scanned the headlines, read a couple advice columns, and are enjoying the local stories in the community section. You're getting ready to look through the inserts to see where the big sales are this week when it hits you. It's nearly dinner time and you don't have anything planned. But then, just as you start to panic, salvation. A coupon in the Gazette with a 2-for-1 pizza special. You grab the phone and make the call. The kids will be happy. Your husband will be impressed with the great deal you got. And best of all, you'll get another 20 minutes of quiet time to read the Gazette.
Want to know more than me? Less than $20 a month will get you there. Call 398-8333 today to subscribe to the Gazette.
The Gazette. Now you know.
ESPN Classic.
Get the network that brings you the greatest sports in history.
From Namath to Koufax.
From McEnroe to Jordan.
The greatest heroes.
In their greatest games.
Plus, the Emmy and Peabody Award-winning Sports Century.
Revealing profiles inside the lives of legends.
And real classics.
Movies for sports fans every Sunday night.
No wonder the LA Times calls ESPN Classic the best channel on television.
To get ESPN Classic, call your local cable or satellite provider now.
Remember, a week from tomorrow is Mother's Day, and we have a brunch planned of epic proportions starting at 11 o'clock.
Mother's Day.
Just tell Mom, meet me at the stadium, and we'll have a brunch on white linen tablecloth starting at 11 o'clock. $17 adults, $12 kids 12 and under, kids 3 and under free, and that includes a club.
Plaza or club? Includes a ticket.
Ticket to the game.
One way or the other, a ticket to the game as well.
I think it's a club seat. Mike Ferris, the cleanup batter, launches one high and deep into center, straight away for Richard Giannotti, who takes 3 tiny steps to his left and makes the catch. Boy, Richard Giannotti really plays a smooth center field, Todd.
Can of corn.
Mike Ferris, a 203 hitter, is gone on a second pitch swing, flying out to center. That brings in Derry Hammond. We have to, the old saying, don't kick a dog when he's down. We want to tiptoe out of here after tomorrow's series finale and have Derry Hammond not hurt us. He hasn't so far. He takes a big swing and a miss, strike one. He's 25 years old.
This is, as am I, this is a man that would benefit most from that wind blowing out today.
Fernando Rodriguez always works quickly, and his next pitch is a curve low and outside. Michael Collins flashes the sign, steps up on the outer half of the plate, and the pitch is delivered just, it's a strike, a delayed call by Nick Monaco. I guess it was a half swing.
Yeah, Derry just couldn't control his wrists, and they clearly crossed the plate there. A break for the Kernels.
Swing and a miss on a high curveball. Derry Hammond chased that pitch that was Well, a chin-high curveball, and he swung through it. Second strikeout for Fernando Rodriguez, and Fernando has started off terrific. That's 5 in a row, now retired by Fernando Rodriguez, who, again, we emphasize, pitches bare arm.
That's right, John. I used the term tough hombre to describe him, and that has nothing to do with the fact that Fernando's from El Paso, Texas. It's just a good term used to describe a guy that walks off the field like John Wayne after every half inning. He is out there with like a man on a mission, and so far he has done an excellent job of fulfilling that mission.
Our first look at catcher Brady Toops, and he's ahead 2-0. Toops is from, well, he lives in Minnesota. He went to the University of Arkansas. In 8 games, he's hitting .222, and there's ball 3 down and in to Brady Toops, who wears his powder blue socks up high, has a burnt orange number on the back of his white home jersey, number 8, and the swing left-handed hitting batter uses a black lacquer bat, and there's a strike at the belt to make it 3-1 to Brady Toops, T-O-P-O-O-P-S, Toops.
John, while we were down in the stands chatting earlier, I noticed a man wearing an Arkansas Razorbacks jacket and a St. Louis Cardinals baseball cap. Wonder if it's any relation to Brady, maybe coming down from Minnesota to check out the game today.
A drive into center, well hit, way back Giannotti in front of the warning track. Richard snares it. Brady Toops on a 3-1 pitch drilled it to deep center for the last out of the inning. 6 ups and 6 down in 2 innings for Fernando Rodriguez. He has been a good pitcher all season long the first month, and that continues so far here this afternoon. The Kernels come to bat in the top of the third. 0-0 with the swing. This is Kernel Baseball in the zone.
I'm Dave Shea. For 35 years, I was a news anchor for Channel 2. You may also have seen me driving around Cedar Rapids in my Honda Accord. Well, I retired from broadcasting, but I haven't given up my Honda. For years, I've told friends they should consider owning a Honda, specifically from Randy Keel Honda. Randy is a local dealer with 13 years of experience in matching drivers to the right vehicle. He has a fine selection of new Hondas, as well as quality pre-owned vehicles. And more than just a reliable service department, Randy Keel Honda offers Honfidence, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle sold. You can take my word for it, but you may also want to talk with other Honda owners. They're people you know, your friends, your neighbors, maybe even your relatives. And you can do more homework by logging on to Randy's website at www.randykeel.com. I'm a satisfied Honda owner, and I'm sure you will be too. See Randy Keel Honda today on Centerpoint Road Northeast.
For just 45 cents a day, you can have 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal delivered every business day. That's just 45 cents a day for the insights, analysis, and news relevant to the business of your life. The Journal delivers the useful information you need to save time and money. Call now and save 55% off the Journal's newsstand price. For new subscribers in the continental U.S., call 800-965-2882. That's 800-965-2882 for the Wall Street Journal.
No scores. We go to the third inning. Our brunch a week from tomorrow at Veterans Memorial Stadium includes a carnation for Mom. It starts at 11, and there'll be a cold food buffet, hot loaves of bread along with cheddar and garlic biscuits, assorted muffins, chocolate banana bread, and at any all-you-can-eat brunch, bacon, sausage, roast Iowa loin of pork, pasta marinara with grilled chicken and fresh vegetables. There'll be an omelet station, all sorts of eggs made to your specifications. What would a brunch be without pancakes and French toast? And a carving station.
Well, don't forget dessert in there as well, John. Plenty to offer for dessert. Cheesecake, sticky buns, key lime pie.
Brownies. Boy, Todd, that's going to be something. Tell Mom to meet me at the stadium next Sunday. 2 o'clock start, but the brunch starts at 11, and she will not forget brunch at the stadium for Mother's Day. Hey, Michael Collins has taken a couple of pitches low. It's 2-0 to the Colonel number 8 hitter. And now he's jammed and fists one in the air foul right back here. We literally, as we said last night, feel very fortunate. We are hanging right over and behind home plate. We have an ideal view of the action here at this beautifully remodeled John O'Donnell Stadium. Todd, as Collins steps back in after the next pitch, I want you to let our listeners know who John O'Donnell was, because He was not a baseball player.
No, he was not.
A ground ball, broken bat roller to shallow short. Plenty of time for Matt Shepard to throw out Michael Collins. 1 out here in the Colonel third.
John O'Donnell was the longtime sports editor at the Davenport Times-Democrat, which is now the Quad City Times, which I believe is one of the best newspapers in the state of Iowa. Of course, I'm biased. I grew up towards the Quad Cities over here in extreme eastern Iowa, but John O'Donnell, a longtime sports writer, and the decision was made, I think in the 1970s, to name the stadium, which was formerly Municipal Stadium, John O'Donnell Stadium, in his honor. And
look out, Jordan Renz has to do the limbo to get out of the way of a pitch up and in.
John, it's so refreshing in this day and age of selling yourself for corporate advertising dollars that they, even with the renovations, kept the name John O'Donnell. It's a great way to memorialize a terrific writer. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to read any of his writings, but he was truly a gem in the Quad Cities.
Well, thanks for filling us in on the namesake of this stadium. Jordan Renz on a 2-0 pitch, hammers it on the ground foul into the swing left field bullpen. We're in the top of the third, no score, 1 hit in the game. The Kernels' Freddy Sandoval owns it, a 1-out single in the second inning. Right-hander Dennis Dove looks nothing like a pitcher with an 0-2 record and a 5.32 earner on average. At least so far he doesn't. Jordan Renz swings through a high fastball, strike 2. The number 9 hitter Renz, hitting 125, drove in the Colonel first run of the game last night, scored our second run, went 0 for 3. A homer, 7 RBIs for the 21-year-old outfielder from Oklahoma, Jordan Renz. Swing and a miss on a high, hard one. That's 2 strikeouts now for the swing right-hander, and we go to the top of the order with nobody on, 2 out in the third. Richard Giannotti digging in. Richard flew out to left to open things up today.
Well, that's too bad for Jordan. He had about as good of a game last night as anybody could, going 0 for 3, with as productive as he was. But that'll set the top of the order now again for Giannotti, and we'll see with 1 pass through if they've figured out Dennis Dove yet.
Fastball taken outside as Richard bluffed a bunt. That brings Jake Mullinax in on the edge of the grass at third. Jake is 10 feet off the line, playing now even with the bag. Right on the edge of the dirt. Fouling one back here to our left for strike 1 is Richard Giannotti. Todd mentioned that the advertising panels here at John O'Donnell Stadium are very effective. There are only 4 of them. They're huge signs embedded into the right center field and left center field 12-foot high wall, and they're protected by plexiglass. A bunt foul over the backstop. Richard Giannotti's now fallen in the hole 1 and 2. Listen to the crowd as somebody came up with a good catch. We'll have probably over 4,000 here this afternoon. There's an outfit named Genesis that is a healthcare provider in this community, and they do an old baseball marketing tradition. They bought out the stadium. They pay a flat fee and get as many tickets as they want. A lot of teams have gone away from that because it's just not quite as economical. It takes a little value away from your ticket. The positive side of it is that if you do it and then you do your job as the company that bought out the stadium, you can bring in as many as you like, and then everybody wins. But
well, John, it's also very good as
ball 3 is low to Richard Giannotti.
Giannotti looks to the ball. It's fantastic in April when the weather is the weather's unpredictable. You don't know what to expect, and a company comes in and says, "Hey, we'd like to purchase X number of tickets for the game," and yeah, you're going to go ahead and do it. Maybe not in June or July.
Right.
Giannotti sends one into the stands over on the third base side, and Genesis Medical Care, they take fine care of the good folks. There's actually a Genesis campus in my hometown of DeWitt. Formerly DeWitt Community Hospital. I was born there.
We'll look forward to a similar event at our ballpark this Wednesday night, our first annual Nurses Recognition Night. And Doug Nelson shared some good news with me this morning. Doug's the Chief Operating Officer of the Kernels. We're going to have a good crowd on Wednesday night. A looper into left, and coming on to make the catch of it is Matt Lemancic. Richard Giannotti tried to dump one the other way in front of Lemancic, but Matt came striding in and made the play to end the inning. Down in order go the Kernels for the first time in this game. in the third inning. And after 2.5 in Davenport, it's the Kernels in swing, no score. You're enjoying Kernel baseball in the zone.
Your home is a powerful asset. Managed wisely, it can help you with home improvements, tuition, and other expenses. Wells Fargo Home Equity Financing is the key. With flexible terms, competitive rates, and affordable payments. Our bankers have the knowledge and resources to help you find the best financing for your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo banker today and see how home equity financing can help you reach your next stage. Wells Fargo, the next stage, equal housing lender.
I'm Al Michaels with Miracles and Milestones, brought to you by the all-new Kia Spectra 5. More than two-thirds of the men who've coached teams to NBA titles played the sport professionally. Of the 26 coaches who have captured the title since Eddie Gottlieb's Philadelphia Warriors won the first one in 1947, 18 had previously played in either the NBA or the ABA. And two of those championship winners, Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics and Buddy Jeanette of the 1948 Baltimore Bullets, performed double duty, winning as player coaches.
If you just found yourself saying, yeah, I knew that, then you could be on your way to winning a new sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5 and other cool prizes. Just log on to ESPN.com, search Kia, and play the Kia Shoot-Around Challenge online trivia game. A lifetime of sitting on your butt watching basketball may finally pay off.
No purchase necessary. Open only to U.S. legal residents who are 21 or older as of the date of entry. Entries must be received by June 6, 2005. Must have valid U.S. driver's license to win grand prize. Void where prohibited. For official rules, go to ESPN.com, search Kia.
The lower third of the girders, but now it's free. A change up in the dirt for ball 3 on the batter.
John, part of the reason they did that was just the fact they felt it was a little antiquated, but also to try to ease congestion because the 74 bridge going from Bettendorf over to Moline always is under construction recently, and traffic backs up over there. They're trying to get people to use the Centennial, and also the Government Bridge, which goes across to the Rock Island Arsenal, which is just upriver here.
I'm glad you mentioned the Arsenal, as the Arsenal of the lower third of the order rears its ugly head again. Ball 4 to Jake Mullinex. That looked like strike 3, but Nick Monaco ruled it ball 4. Let's see if we can get a double play here. Wes Swackhammer, part of that lower third that murdered the Colonel pitching last night. Swackhammer doubled and scored in the swing 3-run 8th. I'm glad you mentioned the Arsenal. What's it called, Todd?
The Rock Island Arsenal.
I have a neat story to tell about that in a moment. As Fernando comes set, the first pitch to the left-handed batter is headed home. Strike 1 call, that blistering fastball below the letters. For our war on terror in Afghanistan and in Iran, much of the armament and the munitions for that war are being made right here at the Rock Island Arsenal.
That's correct. They have a long, long history of creating weaponry and artillery at the arsenal that's then sent over to our troops and used in battle. And both in war and peacetime, it's a very large employer here in the area. And the neat thing about the Government Bridge is it opens up. It's a bridge that opens up to let the boats pass, whereas the I-74 and Centennial bridges are both stationary. Sometimes you'll want to go across the Government Bridge and you have to look to see if the sign says the bridge is open or not, and that's why I usually try to avoid that one when I'm in the Quad City area. But if you know your way around this town, these towns, you can get around pretty easily.
Swackhammer hammers one foul out of play down the third base side. The 0-2 from Fernando. A looper to third, and it's a fair ball, and the throw to first not in time. I'll be darned. What a cheap hit for Wes Swackhammer. Give him credit. He fought off an 0-2 pitch, looped it to shallow third. No chance for Freddy Sandoval to catch it on the fly. Had all sorts of spin on it. Spun behind third base. Fair ball. Freddie threw to first, not in time. And what is it with the lower third of this swing order? Here they are again. Runners at first and second, nobody out. A walk and an infield single, and now Simon Williams will likely try to lay a bunt down. Boy, what a tough break.
In baseball parlance, that thing was a legitimate cue shot right there. That had enough English on it to bring the 8-ball back and put it in the corner pocket. Sandoval, as you said, was not able to... He couldn't have made that catch. Comes up with it, and by then it was too late to get Swackhammer at first.
Now Fernando Rodriguez spins and looks the lead runner back to second. A leadoff walk on a borderline pitch and then an infield single, and I'll be darned, the Swing have runners at first and second with nobody out. They haven't gotten the ball out of the infield.
Sandoval prepping for the bunt over at third.
The bunt is in the air, foul. It hits the top of the backstop just in front of us, strike one. Simon Williams, a two-out game-winning hit in the ninth last night. This fellow went 3 for 4. Number 9 hitter, batting .256, no homers, 2 RBIs, and now he's being summoned a third of the way up the third baseline, and it looks like Joe Cunningham is giving him an earful. He may have missed a sign.
I think what Joe might be telling him is to try to put that down first base, because on the last pitch, Ben Johnson had been playing behind the runner, Swackhammer, at first. Now both corner infielders for the Kernels, although Johnson once again slightly behind Swackhammer. They're both taking guarded leads. Now Johnson will sneak ahead of him here because Williams is already set for the bunt.
Yeah, he's already squared. And he bunts it foul. It was fair for a moment, then foul. Michael Collins was actually obstructed by the batter, Simon Williams, and now Michael whispers a few things to Rodriguez halfway between the mound and the plate on the grass. Williams has been unsuccessful so far, and let's hope, usually, Todd, that means the guy will either strike out or hit into a double play when he's unable to lay a bunt down.
Well, I think if you're Fernando here, you challenge him with some heat and try to get him to, if he's going to try to bunt again, if you throw a hard fastball, maybe he'll bunt it foul and be out.
I don't know if he's going to be bunting.
Doesn't look like it at this point.
The 0-2. Curve in the dirt. What a block by Michael Collins to save a wild pitch. Fernando Rodriguez has suffered terribly from lack of run support, as Todd mentioned. He's 1-0, a 3.10 ERA. In 20 and a third innings, Fernando has given up just 15 hits prior to this, his fifth start. He's fanned 25 batters in 20 and a third, walked only 7. Simon Williams bats from a deep crouch. He waits as Rodriguez spins and looks the lead runner, Jake Mullinex, back to the bag at second. The Swing are trying to break a scoreless tie here in the bottom of the third inning. Simon Williams, out of the University of Maine, waits for the 1-2 delivery. Curve, strike 3 called at the corner, at the knees on the corner. What a breaking pitch from Fernando Rodriguez.
That right there is why Fernando has all those backwards-looking Ks on his stat sheet. His 22 strikeouts, second on the team only to another Rodriguez that we know very well. John Raphael has 27. Until the other day, we was leading the Midwest League, but Casey Jansen of the Lansing Lugnuts has taken over the league lead with 29 strikeouts. But with an excellent outing today, Fernando could be right up there alongside Casey and Raphael.
Matt Lemansek waits as Rodriguez spins and fires into the shortstop behind second Sean Rodriguez, but getting back safely Jake Mullinex. No score. Bottom of the third, the Swing have Mullinex at second and Swackhammer at first with 1 out. The outfield plays this right-handed batter to hit the other way. Ball 1 is up and away, a fastball from Fernando Rodriguez. Fernando is trying to pitch around a leadoff walk and infield single. He got a huge out, preventing Simon Williams from bunting the runners up to second and third. Matt Lemansek fouled out to first in the first. Matt's tough to get on a double play because of his blazing speed. There's another throw in behind the runner at second, and he dives back in hand first.
Well, at least if Lemansek gets on base, he's got a couple guys in front of him that'll keep him from stealing bases. As you've mentioned on previous broadcasts, he's got over 140 stolen bases in his career so far with the Cardinals affiliate.
Matt, a right-handed hitter with a slightly open stance, takes a healthy cut and fouls one straight back. Todd, along with the Rock Island Arsenal, isn't there a national military cemetery on that island?
There is over there. It was once used as a prison for captured Confederate soldiers during the Civil War. But
man, you know your history.
Arsenal Cemetery is over there as well, and every year on Memorial Day they have a very solemn ceremony over there to honor all those that are buried there. And it's a beautiful, beautiful area. If you've never been to the Quad Cities before and you're in the Cedar Rapids area, it's just such a short drive away. It's worth coming down here. You could see Colonel Davenport's house and Antoine Leclerc's old house and the Arsenal. of course is harder to get to now after 9/11, but...
Swing and a miss on a 2-1 pitch. Lemancic tried to hit a 2-1 fastball out of here, and he went chasing it. That was a heck of a pitch by Fernando Rodriguez. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of great history in the last few sentences, Todd, and that is something we often overlook, is how much we have in our own backyard in terms of a weekend. You could take a weekend getaway here. And I'm not working for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, but it's nice to know that 85 miles away from our great city of 5 seasons, a metropolitan area booming with 250,000 people. Ball 3 inside to Lemancic.
Yeah.
Now, Todd, if you're Joe Cunningham, do you send your runners? I think
I
he
would
does.
put him in motion here.
Time is called by the batter. Mullinax at second, Swackhammer at first, and Todd and I think they will be running on this 3-2 pitch to the chief leadoff batter, Matt Lemancic.
Certainly a big lead up at second base would indicate he'll be taken off.
They're not running. Double play ball to third. Sandoval steps on the bag, throws low to first. Ben Johnson dug it out. Hey, the Kernels turned a double play to get out of trouble.
Freddy. Great play by Freddy Sandoval.
He could not have gone around the horn.
No.
He had to step on third, and then his throw to first was dug out of the dirt by Ben Johnson.
Beautiful, John. Absolutely beautiful.
Freddy Sandoval starts a 5-3 inning-ending twin killing. Then that should give the Kernels some life, some spark, some initiative. After 3, first, let's tell you that Fernando Rodriguez pitched out of the first and second, nobody out jam, and prevented the swing from taking the lead. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, no Kernel errors, a double play. Quad City leaves a runner aboard, their first stranded of the afternoon. We go to the 4th, and it's the Kernels nothing, Quad City nothing. This is Kernel Baseball in the zone.
There's a reason Dick Ramsey is the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Skogman Realty. It's because Dick Ramsey works harder for you than anyone to make selling your home easy for you. Take Dick's one-of-a-kind home trade program. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes and Dick will buy yours. Dick Ramsey provides 2 other unparalleled services: a free 1-hour telephone loan approval and a free 1-hour telephone appraisal on your property. Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty, the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company.
Hi, Dan Patrick here. You know what's sad? When a player sticks around a couple of years too long and turns into a sad caricature of himself. That's exactly what happens to your car if you don't install a fresh set of Monroe shocks at 50,000 miles. And through April 30th, you can buy a new set of Monroe shocks and get up to $80 back. That's a Hall of Fame deal that makes it much easier to replace your shocks at 50,000 miles. A lot easier, in fact, than replacing a pitcher who doesn't believe that his glory days have passed him by. Monroe, ride safe.
Actual mileage may vary depending upon driver ability, vehicle type, and the type of driving and road conditions.
Every autumn, Nate Turner embarks on a mission to explain football to women. Patiently, he tries to clarify the West Coast offense and why it's normal for one man to pat another on the fanny. Maybe this season he'll break through.
Think that's a waste of energy? You should see what your home is doing. Get Great Stuff Insulating Foam Sealant. It fills the cracks where heat and cold air escape. Look for Great Stuff in the red and yellow can anywhere home improvement products are sold.
The Kernels will try to keep the momentum they garnered from a terrific inning from Fernando Rodriguez. He let the first 2 reach on a walk and infield single in the bottom of the 3rd, but then got out of it. A tough jam with a full count double play ball off the bat of Matt Lemancic. Tipping one foul behind the plate, Jason Ramos. Jason walked but was picked off first to end the Kernel first inning. Ramos, a switch hitter, batting left. Takes high for ball 1. Jason Ramos played with the Boston Red Sox organization the last 2 seasons. In fact, he played for former Kernel skipper Todd Klaus with the Sarasota Red Sox in 23 games last year, hit 104. He wraps one on the ground to second. Plenty of time for Jarrett Hoffpauir, who throws out Jason Ramos, and that is now 6 straight retired by the right-hander, Dennis Dove.
Well, Dove is going to be awfully lonesome out there if he doesn't get any run support from his swing teammates. This is shaping up to be quite the pitcher's battle today, and right now we're looking at a 1-0, 2-0 ball game, something like that. It's going to be whoever scores first if they can hang on to the lead, and hopefully for us it'll be the good guys on the board first as Sean Rodriguez digs in.
With 1 out, nobody on, ball 1 rides high from the right-hander, Dennis Dove. Physicians Clinic of Iowa, quality health care close to home. and they provide all the health care assessment and treatment of the Kernels. And Physicians Clinic of Iowa, as ball 2 is outside to Rodriguez, brings us our injury report. Mitch Arnold, the Kernel closer, sidelined with a bad right elbow. Josh LeBlanc is lost for a good deal of time. Josh has a broken hamate bone in his left hand, and Clifton Remele will give you the report on him in a moment. Here's a smash to short, a liner dropped by the shortstop, and it'll be a base hit for Rodriguez, or will the scorekeeper be tough on Matt Shepard and charge him with an error?
I'm going to go hit on that one. We'll wait and see until the...
I'm afraid they're going to call it an error, but I would call it a hit.
We'll see whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down.
It is ruled a base hit. A line drive at the feet of Matt Shepard, and it leaked through his glove. And Sean Rodriguez has the second Kernel hit of this day.
That might be a slump buster for Sean there. He tagged that ball. He deserves to get a hit on it. And now here comes Warner Madrigal, looking ever the more like Gary Sheffield each time he steps into the plate.
With a little wrist hitch, a ball outside, and Rodriguez has to dive back in safely to first.
Almost overslides first base there.
Brady Toops, the catcher, threw down there. Finishing up our Physicians Clinic of Iowa injury report, Todd, in a moment after Madrigal steps back in and takes on this 1-0 count, I want you to tell the listeners how you think Clifton Remele is doing on the DL with our Physicians Clinic of Iowa injury report.
Well, I will mention that.
There goes the runner. A pitch, low, a ball. The throw to second. Not in time. Sean Rodriguez has pilfered his fifth steal of the year.
That's
his fifth
team
base.
best.
Team high. Fifth stolen base for Rodriguez. Ball 2 was taken low to Warner Madrigal as Sean Rodriguez swipes second.
Well, after we were done chatting in the stands earlier with some Kernel fans, I had the opportunity to talk to Clifton as we headed up the batting tunnel towards the visiting team locker room, and Clifton says he's at about 70 to 80% and was hitting off the batting tee today, but says he's just not ready to.
A high pop fly. This could be trouble. It's into shallow right, and Jarrett Hoffpauir made a heck of a play, angling towards the right field line in shallow right with that wind blowing it. Hoffpauir made the catch. Warner Madrigal's 0 for 2 as he pops out to second. And there's 2 away. We need a 2-out hit from Freddy Sandoval. He's been extraordinarily good in these situations the first month of the year. Let's see if he can put the Kernels ahead here in the fourth. What did Clifton Remele say besides that he felt about 80% back? Did he say that he thinks it could be another week?
Well, John, he didn't really give me a time frame for his return, but Clifton said he most definitely knows he is not ready to face live pitching yet. But it felt good, and I also said, well, it's got to be killing you not to be out there playing. And like any gamer, Clifton said, absolutely, you bet. And that was the extent of our conversation. But the Georgia Tech grad and teammate of Peoria's Eric Patterson, younger brother of Corey at Georgia Tech, is ready to come off the DL soon, hopefully, and get back in the lineup because we need his bat in the lineup. He is one of the better hitters when he went on the DL after that doubleheader in Burlington.
A strained right oblique muscle. Ball 1 low and away to Freddy Sandoval. Here's a throw to second, and Rodriguez back standing up. That's our Physicians Clinic of Iowa Kernel injury report. Quality care is the top priority at Physicians Clinic of Iowa. They have 50 board-certified physicians who provide quality care in 11 specialties right in Cedar Rapids.
Of course, Josh LeBlanc and Mitch Arnold remain on the disabled list as well. We know that Mitch Arnold's mother, Deborah, listens on the Internet in Saratoga, Wyoming, even though Mitch is on the disabled list. Nice to know that all the parents and family members of the Kernels are supporting the team even when their sons or relatives are on the disabled list.
Freddy Sandoval slices one foul into the bleacher section that parallels the left field line. It's almost 100% full now with folks from the Genesis healthcare system. Thanks to Bill Edwards' father, Larry Edwards, emailed us that he loves listening to the broadcast, even when his son Bill isn't pitching. Bill is slated to pitch the series finale tomorrow afternoon.
Bill from Memphis, Tennessee, a delightful young man, and I believe he's married.
Yes, he is.
Talked about his wife before.
A ground ball to short, and a long throw by Matt Shepard gets Sandoval. Boy, Sean Rodriguez did a great job of screening Matt Shepard and skipping over that grounder. Freddy Sandoval, though, is thrown out by the shortstop, and the Kernels have been blanked. over the first 4 innings by Dennis Dove. No runs, a hit, a stolen base. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave a runner, our second stranded of the afternoon. Nothing but goose eggs as Fernando Rodriguez returns to the mound for the bottom of the 4th as we head there. No score between the Kernels and Quad City. You're enjoying Kernel baseball in the zone.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes the checkered flag.
Yeah, I love Dale Jr., and that's why I love the number 8. I also love to save money on all my home improvements at Menards. They have the best selection and the most helpful team members. So when I heard Menards and Dale Jr. were teaming up, well, you can just imagine how excited I was. I mean, just think. What could be better?
How about a great sale in honor of Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
That's a great idea, but what's on sale?
Everything in the store at 8% off. Menards is proud to be a sponsor of number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr. In celebration, you can save big right now with 8% off everything in the store. 8% off electrical, plumbing and building materials. 8% off hardware, millwork and cabinets, paint and wall coverings. And 8% off floor coverings. Everything is 8% off in honor of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Just get a coupon in your paper or at the store. This week only. Sale ends Saturday.
I'm a 9th-year college senior. I need 2 more credits to graduate. I've needed those credits for 5 years. Sure, I could take ceramics, cooking, Yiddish, done. 2 credits right there. But no, I choose to stay in college.
Go State!
Go State! Let me tell you something. You're jealous of me. I gotta rest up before the pep rally, know what I mean? Oh, wait, you don't.
Go back to college with ESPNU and ESPNU.com. Division I football and basketball matchups and major college championships. Never graduate.
Just past the top of the hour, 3 o'clock here in Davenport, and you're enjoying Kernel baseball in the zone. That's KCRG, 1600 AM. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Alongside is Todd Brummelkamp. He's the Kernel Director of Media Relations. And Todd, we have afternoon baseball here today and tomorrow, and then part of our upcoming 8-game homestand that begins with a bang tomorrow, or Monday evening. We have a noon game on the 5th of May, and that's very significant to Mexicans.
That's right, Cinco de Mayo. I'm sure that a lot of folks of Mexican heritage in Fernando Rodriguez's hometown of El Paso, Texas, which is right across the border from Mexico, will be celebrating on this Thursday, and so will we at the stadium. We've got plenty of Mexican-themed menu items that's available at concession stands.
Matt Shepard is in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Todd will tell you about the
brushed pork with chili butter on that south of the border sandwich. Corona and Dos Equis beer, as well as frozen margaritas available for alcoholic beverages. And at the ice cream stand, deep-fried ice cream with Mexican chocolate sauce.
Todd, you're making my mouth water. Swing and a miss by Mike Ferris, strike 1.
That is, of course, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, as John mentioned, a noon game against the Beloit Snappers, the new Midwest League affiliate of the Minnesota Twins.
Mike Ferris takes high and outside, ball 1. Ferris is batting with nobody on, 2 out. In the bottom of the 4th, no score. The Kernels in their red knit batting practice tops with navy blue hats, and the swing in their distinctive white home uniforms with powder blue socks, baby blue sleeves, and burnt orange numbers. There's strike 2 to the cleanup batter, Mike Ferris, who flew out to center, opening up the 2nd inning.
I like those navy blue hats. The all navy blue hats are my favorite of the 3 hats that the Kernels often wear.
A curve low and in, and it's ball 2 to Mike Ferris. Ferris is out of Miami of Ohio. That's what you grew up. You always grew up hearing sportscasters say Miami of Ohio, of course, to distinguish themselves from the University of Miami in Florida. Here's a ground ball foul pass first.
And John, they do not like being referred to as the Miami of Ohio.
I never knew that.
They actually put a note in their football media guide that says they prefer to be referred to as the Miami University.
Is that right?
How they prefer to be referred to. But as you said, no one can tell the difference between the University of Miami, which center fielder Richard Giannotti attended, and Miami University, which Mike Ferris attended. So a lot of people just ignore that and call them Miami of Ohio.
I would think that they would like that because it gives them almost a moniker of pride that we're the ones from Ohio, not the ones in Florida. The 2-2 is low and in, and Mike Ferris is proving to be a tough out here with nobody on.
Well, John, maybe things have changed now that the Ben Roethlisberger came along and the football team has experienced a lot of success, and people actually know that they're in Ohio.
A 3-2 pitch is lifted into deep left, but Jordan Renz has it tracked. Jordan tucks it away a few steps to his left in front of the warning track. Mike Ferris is skied to left, and what a 4-inning performance by both hurlers here this afternoon.
This is baseball, John.
Fernando Rodriguez, for the third time in 4 frames, has retired the swing in order. And as we go to the top of the 5th, it's still a scoreless duel in Davenport between the Kernels and the swing. You're listening to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Iowans agree. The nice spring weather makes it a pleasure to be outdoors. Enhance your pleasure this year with our backyard beautification project. Let Peck's Landscaping design and install the perfect landscape for your backyard, an outdoor space that's just right for you and your family. Peck's carries the best quality and hardiest nursery stock available. Combine that with a wide variety of landscape products and expert advice, and you'll have the yard of your dreams. Just imagine what it could be. Want a skillfully built retaining wall? Perhaps a brick or cobblestone patio. No landscape is too large or too small for the pros at Peck's. Call or stop in and arrange a time for your free estimate. Don't let another spring go by without new landscaping for your backyard. Beautiful, affordable landscapes designed and installed by Peck's. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, Nursery and Landscaping, corner of Blairs Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast, landscaping Eastern Iowa since 1956.
Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees are proud to support one of our community's most renowned and cherished assets, the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees believe in the core values that comprise the essence of Kernel baseball: fun, wholesome, affordable entertainment for us all. As you look ahead to the many joys of summer, your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees encourage you to visit the fabulous new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees, embracing Kernel baseball, a community treasure.
You heard from Peck's Flower and Garden Shop, and you'll be hearing a lot more starting Monday on our broadcast. Dale Brote will be telling you all about the Mother's Day specials at Peck's, and it's not too early to think about not only the brunch with the Kernels a week from tomorrow at Veterans Memorial Stadium, a Sunday Mother's Day brunch, but Peck's is the place to go for your Mother's Day flowers, bouquets, plants, gift certificates, whatever you want. Brady Toops is bitten by a foul tip off the bat of Ben Johnson, the numbers 6, 7, and 8 men in the Kernel order to face Dennis Dove. And
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day from the Kernels and Peck's a week from tomorrow. Peck's will have all sorts of great items to choose from. And as I say, you'll hear about it during our broadcast from public address announcer Dale Brote. Dale was working feverishly this weekend to put together a very alluring spot, a commercial, telling you about the specials going on at Peck's this next week as a prelude to Mother's Day. Ben Johnson flew out to left his first time up. He's hitting .250, and he grounds one to first. Easy play for Mike Ferris, and he takes the play himself, one away. Nothing doing for either offense so far through 4 full innings here in Davenport, and as Todd said, this is baseball, an old-fashioned pitcher's duel so far, between 0-2 Dennis Dove with a 5.32 ERA and 1-0 Fernando Rodriguez, 1-0 with a 3.10 ERA.
John, everyone always talks about home runs and everything and how they like to see high-scoring ball games, but if you're a traditional baseball purist, as both of us are, this is your idea of heaven. A beautiful sunny day on the banks of the Mississippi and 2 teams that are scratching out hits rarely, going back and forth in a pitcher's duel. Just absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be a low-scoring game, and even with the wind blowing out.
Even with the wind blowing out. Ball 2 inside to Aaron Peel. Aaron was almost struck by the first pitch. The 2-0 from Dove is whacked foul on the ground into the bleacher section that parallels the left field line. That bleacher section is teeming with folks. Not only the description Todd described of the beautiful setting, the wonderful sunshine and low-scoring affair here, 0-0 in the 5th, but a big crowd on hand. Ball 3 inside to Aaron.
Not quite as big as the crowds will get as the weather warms up and schools let out and everything, but it's still a weekend and a lot of people enjoying the weekend. Of course, Steve Batterson, our friend from the Quad City Times, informing us that the AF2 Steam Wheelers, the Quad Cities across the river, are at home tonight, so possibly that's keeping some people away from the ballpark as Aaron Peel draws a ball for base hit, as they say in baseball, and heads down to first base.
It was high to Aaron. It's the second walk issued by Dennis Dove, and let's see, the Kernels did some running in the last inning when Rodriguez swiped second. Peel is 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts, and you got to believe that Bobby Magallanes will keep the throttle down, trying to put pressure on the Quad City defense. Peel is not running, and fastball upstairs to Michael Collins. Ball 1. Michael opened up the third inning by rolling out to short. He steps out and takes a look down at Bobby Magallanes.
This is an interesting defensive setup. They have Molinax back at third base, but Ferris playing in front of Peel at first base.
There goes the runner, and a pitch grounded to short. The only play will be to first. Matt Shepard throws just in time to get the hustling Michael Collins, but the Kernels, with 2 out, get that runner Peel into scoring position. The key to that at-bat for Michael Collins, Todd, is he put the bat on the ball, grounded it to short. Now, if he had been able to ground it to second, there was a hole there because Jarrett Hoffpauir was moving over to cover the bag, but credit Michael Collins for at least giving Jordan Renz a chance now to break this scoreless tie in the 5th inning.
Baseball is a game of millimeters, John. A lot of times they say it's inches, but it's really even smaller units than that. If he would have just had a different part of the bat on contact with the ball, he shoots that up the middle, and the Kernels are really cooking with only 1 out. But still does a good job of successfully executing the hit and run, at least in moving Peel to second base.
Jordan Renz, a strikeout victim in the 3rd, is ahead 1-0. The pitch was low from Dennis Dove, the right-hander. Boy, Dove surrendered 5 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings. His last start, that was Sunday here at home against Dayton. A ground ball up the middle is into center field. The runner rounds third. Aaron Peel, he'll score standing up. Jordan Renz has wrapped one through the box, and this scoreless duel is now a 1-0 Kernel lead. Jordan Renz went with the pitch, Todd. He didn't try to jack it out of here. He grounded it sharply. The pitcher, Dennis Dove, got a glove on it, and for a moment I thought Matt Shepard might have a play behind second, but Renz hit that ball with authority. Jordan Renz has driven home the afternoon's first run with a big 2-out RBI single.
I'll tell you what, if they have Sean Rodriguez at shortstop, you're just as worried there. Sean would make that play probably, but
here's a line drive into shallow center. It's going to be a base hit. Renz will round second and hold on. Richard Giannotti has stroked a 2-out single into shallow center in front of the hard-charging Simon Williams. Jordan Renz, with 2 outs, had to hold at second. And that brings up Jason Ramos, who has walked and grounded to second. Here's a big chance for Jason Ramos to make it a 2-run inning for the Kernels. It's 1-0 Kernels. Remember, in the next inning, the 6th, we'll have a chance for you to earn a prize from the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop. It'll be our Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge. We'll also, here in the middle innings, give you a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. There is afternoon action, but right now, to the matter at hand, Jason Ramos, the Kernel switch-hitting second baseman, with runners aboard at first and second, will try to add to the Kernel 1-0 lead here in the top of the 5th inning.
And Jason was hitting the ball fairly well in batting practice today, so we'll see if he gets a pitch to hit, as that one was outside for ball 1. If he gets a pitch to hit, if he can get the bat head around on it and do some damage to it. But he did, and John, I believe you would agree with me, looked very good in batting practice today.
He was really hitting some line drives to all fields. Renz at second, and they almost picked him off. Boy, Jordan had to scurry back head first as Dennis Dove connected with his shortstop, Matt Shepard, but Jordan did get back. Renz's 2-out RBI single grounded sharply through the middle, his 8th run driven into the season. He's at second. Richard Giannotti's at first. Boy, I know this sounds strange, but I'd love to see those runners go. Keep putting pressure on the swing. There's a throw to second. Jordan just got back standing up. And the crowd hollers at the base umpire, Jeff Lascola. They thought Renz might have not gotten back standing up.
Well, it was a high tag by Shepard on Renz's upper thigh. Very close. I think Jordan needs to probably slide back in next time. He was safe. No doubt about that. He's still on second.
Ball 2 below the knees to Jason Ramos. State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Lanny Peterson, and Al Shetler with our first look at the afternoon action on the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
Well, we've only got 4 games in progress right now. One in the National League has Cincinnati leading the Milwaukee Brewers 4-1 at Miller Park. That game is in the top of the 7th. Sean Casey, the mayor, and Ken Griffey Jr. all have home runs for the Reds. Over in the American League, 8-1 final to report. Kansas City over Cleveland in Cleveland. And Toronto and New York tied up at 3 in the top of the 8th. Toronto putting 1 across in the top of the 8th to tie that ball game up at 3. Also, right now, currently in progress in the bottom of the first inning out at Network Coliseum's Network Associates Park, it's Seattle and Oakland scoreless in the bottom of the first. Everything else has yet to start.
Ball 3 is low to Ramos, and let's see if Bobby Magallanes turns Jason loose. Nope. Strike 1 on the outside edge. Now it's 3-1. Our good friend, Hall of Fame broadcaster Bob Brooks likes to say on a 3-1 pitch he'll likely get something juicy to hit.
Well, yeah.
That's right. I bet Bob's tuned in this afternoon. We look forward to him rejoining us for the 8-game homestand starting Monday night.
And so do most of the listeners.
Swing and a foul ripped into the backstop. Ramos had a good pitch to hit and fouled it away. It's a full count now. That means with 2 out and the Kernels leading 1-0 here in the 5th that Renz from second and Giannotti from first will be running. They will be running on this 3-2 pitch.
We'll see what happens here. If it's anywhere near the plate, if Ramos can lay off it and take ball 4, it's just as good as a base hit, especially with Sean Rodriguez hitting the ball well on deck.
The right-hander, Dove, spins and look Renz back to second. The Swing have a right-hander up in their bullpen. He's just started to throw, and that right-hander is
Quentin Robinson, I believe.
I think you're right.
Saw him pitch the other night against Clinton before this 4-game series started.
The runners go. A drive right at the left fielder, and Lemancic has it. I'll be darned with the runners going. Jason Ramos lashed it hard, and Lemancic, eating up ground, came in and caught the line drive. Tough break for Jason Ramos. He hit it right on the button and lined out to left. But the Kernels draw first. Break the ice with 1 run on 2 hits in the 5th inning. A walk. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave a pair and have stranded 4. Well, Fernando Rodriguez has a lead, albeit a slim one, after 4.5. Kernels 1, Swing nothing. And this is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
We're a nation on wheels. Cars are an absolute necessity in our society. Because we drive so much, accidents are bound to occur. Your Pekin insurance professional, Tanya Sedlock at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. See Tanya Sedlock at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Depend on your hometown Pekin insurance professional, Tanya Sedlock at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency.
As a realtor, John Green from Tennessee sells houses for a living. But as a scoutmaster, his barn is a second home to every member of Troop 137.
He just provides us with all the stuff that we need to advance through scouting.
His business ethics are just like his scout ethics to the highest caliber.
More scouts have the scout oath, the realtors have their code of ethics. It's important to all of us.
Across the country, realtors like John Green are making their communities a better place to live and teaching others to do the same. We're realtors. Real estate is our life.
You're driving your GMC Sierra to the home center to get supplies for your home improvement project. It's your 3rd time here today, but this time you brought a list. As you pull your Vortec 285 horsepower shopping cart into the parking lot, you're happier than a spackler on stilts. You're living a do-it-yourself dream come true because your Sierra has all the payload capacity you need to load up everything on your list. Where is that list? Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to. Cargo and load capacity limited by weight and distribution.
Designated hitter Gary Hammond, a former Milwaukee Brewer minor leaguer in this Midwest League. He played as a Beloit snapper several years ago, and he crunches one foul on the ground past third into the bullpen, where the Swings' Quentin Robertson is still warming up. 1-0 Kernels.
We'll see how Fernando reacts to having, or responds, I should say, to having a lead.
Gary Hammond takes strike 2 called. Gary struck out in the 2nd. Todd, getting back to Rock Island Arsenal in the National Military Cemetery, I want to make an analogy here in a moment as some speedboats go by on the Mississippi. Here's a base hit up the middle past the diving Sean Rodriguez. It came on an 0-2 count. Gary Hammond is aboard with just the second hit of the day for the swing. That brings the crowd alive. Brady Toops, the catcher, now will bat with the tying run at first. Nothing wrong with giving up the leadoff single. It's just tough that it came on an 0-2 pitch. Alton, Illinois is my hometown. It, like Davenport, or like the Quad Cities, is a river town, much further down the Mississippi, in fact about 4.5 hours south of here. But it also was the home of Confederate prison in the Civil War. And you said a lot of Confederates are buried on the grounds of Rock Island Arsenal, the cemetery. Most of those Confederate prisoners died of things like diphtheria and cholera, terrible diseases.
Yeah, not exactly the health care that we have nowadays available during those times, but plenty of troops on both sides of that battle were felled by various illnesses. I mean, we're talking about a time in our nation's history when a sore, impacted tooth could very well do you in. So, but it is neat to know. A lot of people do not know that the Civil War did extend up to this portion of the country.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Illinois fought for the Union.
Everyone naturally assumes that there were no battles in Iowa or Illinois. There were not major battles, but things did take place here, of course, and that's why one of the reasons they sent the prisoners all the way up here was they were out of the way. They knew they weren't going to escape and help out their comrades in arms.
Of course, the Confederates dressed in those gray uniforms, and they were sent to prisons in Alton, Illinois, and we still have an historic marker in Alton down by the Mississippi River, some remnants of the old Confederate prison where I think thousands of Confederate soldiers died. Ball 2 is taken outside by Brady Toops. 1-0 Kernels. Toops flew out to center in the second. He's batting .222, a homer, 5 RBIs, an 0-2 swing, and a base hit through the middle by Gary Hammond. Derry is being held at first by Ben Johnson. Here's the 2-0 from Rodriguez. A high pop foul, and this one will land in the bleachers for strike one down the left side.
John, the Arsenal was passed legislation by Congress in 1862 that authorized the building of several new arsenals. It didn't really begin until 1865, but from 1863 to 1865, over 12,000 Confederate prisoners were held here in Rock Island.
And many of them never left because they died of those awful diseases. Is Derry Hammond running on this 2-1 count? That's what Fernando Rodriguez thinks. He throws over there, and Derry returns safely.
More than 1,700 soldiers buried at Arsenal Cemetery.
I thought it was a good number, Todd.
And it is a sight. It's nowhere near Arlington National Cemetery, but just as moving.
Ooh, ball 3. How did the batter not swing at that one? That was a heck of a pitch, but Nick Monaco, the plate umpire, called it ball 3 outside.
The count should be 2-2 right now, John. That pitch sure looked like a strike, but Toops has the eye and the mindset of a catcher, and he laid off that one. Maybe he's making nice with the home plate umpire. Who knows?
Looper over second, a base hit. Derry Hammond will round second and go to third. Giannotti throws into the cutoff man, and the swing poised and primed now to tie this game. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Brady Toops served it over the head of Jason Ramos at second and center, and Derry Hammond had no trouble scooting from first to third. And just like that, the Swing have a great chance now to either tie it or take the lead here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So Fernando Rodriguez has not been able to fare quite as well with a 1-0 lead as he was pitching with the game scoreless. But remember, the Swing had runners at first and second, nobody out in the last inning, and they did not score. Don't put it beyond the capability of Fernando Rodriguez to get out of this jam. The Kernels will trade a run for an out here. Better yet, they trade a run for 2 outs. That is, they'd love to get Jake Mullinex on a double play. Mullinex walked leading off the third inning. So that was 2 innings ago that they put their first 2 on.
Well, we'll see how Fernando responds here now with runners on the corners and no outs. He's going to have to do some handiwork to get out of this jam.
Ball 1 is high to the right-handed batter, Jake Mullinex. 1-0 Kernels. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Kernels broke a scoreless tie with a 2-out RBI single from Jordan Renz in the top of this fifth inning.
John, not to dwell on the Arsenal Cemetery too long, but they're actually over.
A high fly ball to center will tie the game. Richard Giannotti has it, and Gary Hammond could crawl home from third. Instead, he trots home to tie the game. Well, the Colonel lead of 1-0 is very short-lived as Jake Mullinex flies out to center, driving in his 5th run of the season. Holding at first was Brady Toops, and now a double play would get us out of the inning.
Well, and if you're a Kernels fan, you're on pins and needles knowing how well or how poorly, depending on your point of view, the Kernel bullpen has performed as of lately, with a few exceptions. And we know this early in the season, Fernando Rodriguez is not going to go the distance tonight. So now that the game is tied, you should be walking on eggshells.
Here's a drive into right down the line. It'll send the lead runner to third. That's Brady Toops. Wes Swackhammer has the third hit of the inning for the Swing. First and third, 1 out for Simon Williams. Boy, Wes Swackhammer didn't take long as he's 2 for 2. It's that lower third of the Swing order that continues to just give the Colonel pitching staff absolute headaches.
Well, maybe someone needs to send a memo down and let them know that there's a reason these guys are batting 7th, 8th, and 9th in the order. Challenge them. Go inside on them a little bit. Mix them up. Break them off with some curveballs, some off-speed stuff.
First and third, 1 out, and that may be what Kernan Ronan's saying. Kernan is out to the hill to visit before Simon Williams bats. The Swing have a great chance now to erase the Colonel lead. They've tied it. They have runners at first and third with only 1 out. And the number 9 batter, Simon Williams, who struck out looking after failing to lay a sacrifice bunt down back in the third inning. The Colonels fought so hard to get that 1 run, and now they're looking at a tough situation. First and third, only 1 out. Again, a double play gets us out of the inning.
Kernan heads back to the dugout. 18,000 interments at Rock Island Arsenal Cemetery. The 1,700 were from the Civil War. So,
okay.
It is quite the sight across on the Illinois side of the river. Rock Island, we're looking at it right now, as a matter of fact, the Casino Rock Island. Rock Island and Davenport, the southernmost cities of the Quad Cities on the Illinois and Iowa sides, respectively. Moline and Bettendorf to the north.
Simon Williams looks at a curve, a beauty, a strike call.
Man, that thing was a 10 out of 10. A Bo Derek, as I like to say. That thing had great movement on it, and Williams was just transfixed.
Simon, a right-handed hitter. Shoots one foul, out of play, way down the right field line.
Heads up, kids.
There's a kid jumping an obstacle course down the right field line, as well as a picnic deck. There's a second picnic deck here that I forgot to point out last night, and that's an extension of this level, this press box suite level. Way down the left field line is a picnic deck. That one's empty. Ooh, could Fernando use a strikeout, pop-up, or double play? He looks both runners back. The lead runner, Brady Toops, to third, and Wes Swackhammer to first. The Swing have tied the game. Each club has 4 hits. Quad City has runners at the corners with only 1 out in their half of the 5th inning. A breaking pitch ruled inside by plate umpire Nick Monaco, ball 1 to Simon Williams.
Tommy Duenas, who has the day off today, now with his Colonel's jacket and shin guards on, jogging down to the Colonel bullpen down the right field line, and we'll have some action down there as T.J. Stanton pulls off his parka.
Curve, and getting a piece of it, fouling it into the Swing third base dugout, is the number 9 hitter. We've seen the last of the Swing starter, Dennis Dove. He'll have gone 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits. He struck out 2. He walked 2. Quentin Robertson, a right-hander, will take over in the 6th inning. That's when we'll have our Roadshow Trivia Challenge question for you. Another 1-2 delivery from Rodriguez instead of throw to first, and back safely is Wes Swackhammer. 3 hits for the Swing, and they've tied it here in the 5th inning.
Well, this has to be tough for Fernando to swallow here, especially knowing how well he's pitched this year. And again, he's on the hook for a no decision or a loss, depending on how this half inning turns out.
Let's make it a no decision. Uh-oh, a drive into center, shallow, and it's caught. No, it gets by Giannotti. He misplayed it. 2 runs will likely score. 1 run is in. Another man is being waved around third. The relay throw home, and the runner's safe at the plate. I'll be darned. I'll be darned. I'll be darned. Richard Giannotti on a shallow drive to center tried to make a shoestring catch. It got by him. He was trying to throw the runner out at the plate, and instead, 2 swing runs scored. It'll be ruled a triple all the way. And doggone it, the lower third of the order continues to just annihilate Kernel pitching.
Actually, John, that's going to be ruled a double with the runner advancing on the throw. No error has been posted on the board. A double.
Can you believe that? Can you believe the lower third of the swing order?
John, I know it's early in the season, but just when you think you've seen enough and seen everything that this team has to offer, they surprise you.
Yep, the swing of surprise, it's a lot. Here's a looper into shallow left.
Come on.
It's going to fall for another hit. It's 4-1 Quad City. Oh, brother, it's 4-1.
When it rains, it pours, John, and the clouds overhead have held off all afternoon, but right now there's a torrential downpour raining on Fernando Rodriguez today.
5 hits and 4 runs, and now the swing in the driver's seat leading at 4-1. Let me take that back.
That was cheap.
Yeah, cheap hit, dumped into left. The swing is not in the driver's seat. The Kernels had a 4-1 lead last night in the 8th inning, and it disappeared. So the swing lead at 4-1. They are not in the driver's seat. They lead by 3 old runs.
Now Chris Waters trades places with T.J. Stanton. Waters, number 32, the right-hander, warming up in the Kernel bullpen.
It was Matt Lemansek who hit one off the trademark and dumped it in front of Jordan Renz left for an RBI single. A throw to first. It gets by Ben Johnson, and down to second goes Matt Lemansek. That's the first Kernel error of this game, and the Kernels are coming unraveled here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Little joy in that 1-0 lead because it didn't last long. It's 4-1 now. Matt Shepard at the plate, and 5 hits in this inning for the swing have erased a Kernel 1-0 lead. It's now 4-1 Quad City. We need to get the second out, not the third out. We need to get the second out here in this inning and hope to make a rally. Here's a throw to second, and the runner Lemansek is back standing up.
It was E1 on Fernando Rodriguez, throw low in the dirt, and Waters will add a little urgency to his warm-up tosses down in the bullpen, as it looks like this second out right now is never going to come for the Kernels.
Swing and a miss by Shepard, strike 1. Well, let's regain our composure and first of all salute the swing, because they're the ones that have earned the 4 runs here in the 5th. That sinking line drive double underneath Richard Giannotti, the key blow in the inning by who else? The number 9 hitter, Simon Williams, who had 3 hits last night. Man, do we struggle against guys 7, 8. That hasn't been just this year. It's been a trend in the Los Angeles Angel organization.
Joe Cunningham is arguing for a balk on Rodriguez.
Yes,
there.
He is.
Stepped off the rubber.
He is arguing vehemently with the plate umpire, Nick Monaco.
Also with the base umpire, Nick LaCosta.
No call was made. Shepard takes strike 2 called. One thing about Fernando Rodriguez, even though he's had some tough pitching luck here in the 5th inning and the swing have scored 4 runs, Fernando is a top-notch competitor. He is not going to give an inch on that mound, even though the breaks have gone against him in this inning. Now
the balk is being called, and that is just awful.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
That is ridiculous when a manager argues that a balk should be called, and then 2 plays later, you call the balk. If the umpire didn't see it beforehand, then why does he magically see it now? And I know, as a former umpire, I very rarely criticize umpires, but you lose a lot of credibility, John, when that happens. And
now the plate umpire and the base umpire getting some heat from the Kernel dugout. It's a runner at third, the Kernel infield in. We still don't have that second out here in the 4th, 5th inning. Ball 1 inside to Matt Shepard, and poor Fernando Rodriguez can't have anything much else go wrong for him here in this inning.
Fernando has been left dangling on the line right now, but I have a feeling Shepard may be the last batter he faces.
A ground ball fair past first. That breaks the game open. 5-1 swing into the right field corner, and the batter may wind up at third base. He's rounding second. Shepard will go to third. The relay to third is not in time. A bang-bang play. It didn't go the Kernel way. and that will likely be it for poor Fernando Rodriguez. He's pitched his heart out here and deserved a better fate. With the infield drawn in, Matt Shepard grounded one to the left of first baseman Ben Johnson for a run-scoring triple. That's the 6th hit in the inning. That's the 6th hit in the inning for the Swing, who now lead it 5-1.
Well,
wow.
Talk about making that balk rather meaningless. The runner would have scored one way or the other, and here comes skipper Bobby Magianis, a little delayed, getting Waters 1 or 2 extra tosses down there in the bullpen, but wasting no time in making the pitching change.
What a tough inning for the Kernels. Fernando Rodriguez goes 4 1/3. So far, he's given up 5 runs on 7 hits, 5 of them in this inning. 6 of them in this inning. 6 of them in this inning. And Fernando struck out 3. He walked 1. The key play in the inning was, well, there were 2 key plays. An 0-2 pitch to Derry Hammond singled into center to get it all started. And then with the score tied 1-1 and the tying run at, or the go-ahead run at third for Quad City, Simon Williams lined a sinking ball into shallow center. Richard Giannotti came rushing in, tried to make a shoestring catch in order to throw home, and the ball got by Richard Giannotti. And on that play, 2 runs scored to make it 3-1. And then the floodgates were opened. RBI single by Matt Lemancic, followed an error by the pitcher Rodriguez, a balk by Fernando, then Matt Shepard, of all people, a triple pass first with the infield drawn in. And now the 8th man to bat in the Swing 5-run 5th inning will be Jarrett Hoffpauir. Todd, let's don't lose faith, and let's turn our attention to our upcoming homestand. 8 games, starting 4 with Beloit, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night at 6:30. A noon game, Cinco de Mayo celebration on the 5th of May. And then we welcome in Burlington over the weekend, Friday night at 6:30, Saturday at 2. The Mother's Day brunch at 11 o'clock in the morning on the 8th. That's a 2 o'clock start. And then 6:30 on Monday, the 9th. There are a couple of ways folks can come out and enjoy the wholesome, affordable family entertainment we have to offer. They can call.
That's right. They can call the ticket office at 896-7560, or they can go online to www.kernels.com to order their tickets. It should be a couple opportunities in there in that 8-game homestand for the Kernels to pick up some victories. Beloit, who we faced for the first 4 games starting on the 2nd, is currently 11-10 in the Western Division. Burlington sits below a half game behind Cedar Rapids at 8-12. So plenty of opportunities, plus another game tomorrow with the Swing of the Quad Cities.
And this one is by no means over. It's only 5-1, and we're only in the 5th inning. A curveball from the new hurler Chris Waters low to Jarrett Hoffpauir. He's the 8th Swing batter here in their big 5-run 5th that he raced a Colonel 1-0 lead. We're going to hang in there, and lots of fun still to go. Our Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question will come your way in the 6th. We have a couple of Did You Know questions to go. Ball or a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-1. Chris Waters last pitched in the Colonel win here. A 4-1 victory Thursday night. 2 scoreless innings. He struck out 2, walked none, and Chris Waters is on in relief of the starter, Fernando Rodriguez. Here's a base hit into right to make it 6-1 Quad City. That run will be charged to Fernando Rodriguez. It closes the book on Rodriguez. And boy, you said it, Todd, when it rains, it pours. All of a sudden, the weakest hitting team in the league has found its stride, and Quad City now has 7 hits, and they've scored 6 runs here in the 5th inning. Wow.
7 of their 8 hits, and all 6 of their runs here in 1 inning. And John, we still don't even have that second out on the board.
Still looking for it. Maybe we can get the 2nd and 3rd outs on a double play.
I wouldn't put it past Ferris to get a hold of one here, the way things have been going for the Swing.
A ground ball into right, another base hit, and stopping at 2nd. Well, no, Hoffpauir will go to 3rd. The throw by Madrigal is cut off by Sean Rodriguez. And the nightmarish 5th inning for the Kernels continues. Mike Ferris didn't quite get a hold of one, but he grounded it sharply into right for another hit. That's the 8th hit of the inning.
And now look who comes to the plate for the swing.
Uh-oh, the guy that started it all with the leadoff single here.
They've officially batted around this inning, and not only that, they've batted around the Kernels like a cat with a mouse, just batting him around before he goes in for the kill. And let's hope the kill doesn't come here on the bat of Derry Hammond, although he is certainly capable of delivering a 3-run blow right here with one swing of the bat.
Or maybe a double play. Swing and a tap foul by Derry. As Todd said, he got it all started when he singled off the departed Colonel starter Fernando Rodriguez on an 0-2 pitch. Chris Waters is a right-hander, and as we said, he worked very effectively here in the series opener. Chris is on in relief and has given up a couple of hits.
He's got pretty good numbers. He's 0-2 with a 4.22 ERA this year across 7 appearances, this being his 8th. He's pitched 10 2/3 innings, so occasionally, when need be, Chris goes more than 1 inning, but opponents are hitting just 205 off him coming into the game, which is a good sign, especially against the swing, but so far he's picked up where Fernando Rodriguez has left off, and with runners on first and third, Hammond faces a 2-1 count now, and still looking for that elusive second out, but as John said, let's cross our fingers and hope for the ground ball double play.
A curve, and it's ruled high by the plate umpire. Chris Waters has fallen behind 3-1 to Derry Hammond. Don't lose any heart, Colonel fans. Better innings are ahead, and we have to keep dwelling on the positive. What a great first 4 innings by Fernando Rodriguez, 4 shutout innings. And the thing the Colonels could not avoid in this inning, unfortunately, was the big inning. And credit the swing. Hey, they've got 8 hits. Yeah, a couple of them have been clunkers, but here's a ground ball to third. Sandoval to second, out. Ramos to first, out. There's that clairvoyant ability of Todd Brummelkamp. Derry Hammond ends the 5th inning for the swing by wrapping into an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. And that helps keep the Colonels at least somewhat in this game. The swing strike for 6 runs in the 5th chased the Colonel starter on 8 hits. 1 Colonel error, and Quad City leaves 1 runner aboard. They've stranded a pair. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Your chance to earn a prize from the Brim Ritter Diamond Shop, our Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question coming right up. New pitcher coming on for the swing. After 5, it's Quad City on top of the Colonels 6-1, and this is Colonel Baseball in the zone.
When you need group transportation, there is only one name you need to remember. That name is Tri-State Travel, transportation provider for the Cedar Rapids Kernels and hundreds of other schools, organizations, and associations in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, and Waterloo area. Check our unblemished safety record, compare our pricing, and then climb aboard one of Tri-State Travel's modern deluxe motor coaches and experience our award-winning service. Tri-State Travel, the leader in motor coach group transportation.
This Saturday night at the arena, it's Wrestling Mayhem as the Barbarian Bone Crusher battles Bodacious Bobby the Brain Beefcake.
We interrupt this ridiculous commercial to announce the television debut of Real Pro Wrestling. Not fake wrestling, but the genuine classic sport with world-class wrestlers and enhanced rules for fast, furious action. Visit RealProWrestling.com and watch PAX TV and FSN to experience what wrestling was meant to be.
I'm a 9th-year college senior. I need 2 more credits to graduate. I've needed those credits for 5 years. Sure, I could take ceramics, cooking, Yiddish, done. 2 credits right there. But no, I choose to stay in college.
Go State!
Go State! Let me tell you something. You're jealous of me. I gotta rest up before the pep rally, know what I mean? Oh, wait, you don't.
Go back to college with ESPNU and ESPNU.com. Division I football and basketball matchups and major college championships. Never graduate.
Well, let's see if the Colonels can peck away at a 5-run deficit, 6-1 in favor of the swing. We go to the top of the 6th. Great to have you with us. The sun is back out here again at John O'Donnell Stadium, and it'll be Sean Rodriguez, Warner Madrigal, Freddy Sandoval, the middle of the Colonel order, to face a new hurler, tall right-hander Quentin Robertson.
Robertson has pretty good stuff, John. I saw him make his first appearance for the swing on Wednesday night versus the Clinton Lumber Kings. He split time between Johnson City, Tennessee, and New Jersey last year in the Appalachian and New York Penn Leagues, respectively. Was 5-2 with a 3.78 ERA last year over 13 games In 66 and 2/3 innings, he struck out 47 and only walked 13.
He's ahead of Sean Rodriguez, 0-2, and fires high.
Robertson is from Richland, Mississippi, or lives in Richland, Mississippi, but attended the University of Nebraska. As a 44th round selection of the Cardinals in last June's 2004 free agent first player draft.
A curve is lifted in the air to left. Down the line in front of the warning track, Matt Lemancic ranges over to his right and puts it away. Sean Rodriguez is flied to left, one away in the Kernels 6th. Kernels trail by 5, 6-1. Your chance to earn a prize right now from the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop by emailing us your answer to the Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. If you've been a previous winner of that or our Springhouse Trivia question during our home broadcast, that's great. Please play along wherever you're tuned in, but don't email us. That'll give the legions of other Kernel fans listening a fair shot at a prize from the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop. And, Todd, there are 2 easy steps our listeners need to take to participate this afternoon.
That's right. They need to first log on to www.kernels.com. And the second, just as easy step, once you get to kernels.com, is to head to look at the right side of the page, the top right portion of the page. There's a link to email us on the Roadshow Trivia Challenge.
A sharply hit grounder to third, booted by the third baseman. Now he throws it past first, and Warner Madrigal will be the beneficiary of a Jake Mullinax error. It's Jake's 8th error of the season, and maybe that little old error can get the Kernels started back on the recovery or comeback path. Warner Madrigal aboard on a one-out error at third by Jake Mullinax. Well, let's talk you through. You've logged on to Kernels.com. You've followed Todd's direction and clicked on the link for the Roadshow Trivia Challenge. We need you to now email us your name, address, and phone number. And Todd will spring the question on you, the Roadshow Trivia Challenge question, in just a second as Freddy Sandoval bats. Switch hitter batting left. A high drive into left center. Can anybody get there? Way back. And no one can get there. It's off the wall. Sprinting around third is Warner Madrigal. He'll score on a booming opposite field double by Freddy Sandoval. And that cuts the swing lead to 4 at 6-2. Warner Madrigal scored all the way from first as Freddy Sandoval plastered one between Matt Lemancic and Simon Williams. It hit the base of the 12-foot high wall in deep left center for Freddy Sandoval's second hit.
I think it was Williams who actually may have had a glove on that ball, but once he made contact with the wall, lost contact with the ball, and it fell at his ankles. Now Freddy Sandoval stands on second base, and that error could loom large for Mullinax at third base with Ben Johnson, who had a good round of BP today in the batter's box.
Let up is in there for a strike to Ben. Well, Todd, our Roadshow Trivia Challenge question.
Our Roadshow Trivia Challenge question today: what team were Cincinnati Big Red Machine stars Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez, all 3 players, reunited on in 1983? The question again is, Johnson fouls one back over the press box here at John O'Donnell. What team were Big Red Machine Cincinnati Red stars Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez all reunited with in 1983? Pretty good ball club in 1983 that they were all on, too.
And it wasn't the Big Red Machine anymore. It wasn't Cincinnati. What team was it? Email us with your answer. 0-2 to Ben Johnson. He's trying to bring home Freddy Sandoval with the second run of the inning, but he won't do it on this swing. He pops it up to second. And near the bag, Jarrett Hoffpauir brings it in. Second out, Ben Johnson 0-3. Let's see if Aaron Peel, who walked and scored the game's first run in the 5th inning, can pick up Ben Johnson and cut this swing lead to 3. It's 6-2 Quad City, and we're in the top of the 6th inning. You're taking a crack at our Roadshow Trivia Challenge question.
It's a little bit of a brain teaser. I didn't have to think for too long on it, but it popped into my head right away.
You don't have trouble with anything baseball-related, my friend. You're a walking genius.
I'm sure we have a lot of listeners out there that remember the Big Red Machine of the 1970s, and those are all 3 pretty integral cogs in Sparky Anderson's ball clubs, and they reunited in 1983. Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez were all teammates in Cincinnati in the 70s and early 80s, but then again in 1983 with another team. We need to know what team it was.
They reunited. Email us your answer to that Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. Ball 1 to Aaron Peel. 1-1 to Peel. Kernels have been out hit 9-5 and are down in the 6th inning by 4, 6-2. They've scored a run, have another chance to score here with Aaron Peel at the plate and Freddy Sandoval leading away at second. Ball 2 is low from number 13, the burnt orange number on the back of the Quad City home uniform. The swing wear baby blue caps, and their first digit number is smaller than their second digit number on the back of those jerseys. Aaron Peel cuts through a fastball, didn't get it. Now the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a runner at second for the Kernels.
Joe Morgan was 39 years old in 1983. He hit .230, 16 homers and 59 RBIs that year. So Joe still had some pop. We just need to know what team he did the popping for.
A swing and a miss on a changeup in the dirt, and recovering in time to throw Peel out at first is Brady Toops, the catcher. The Kernels strike for a run in the 6th inning off relief pitcher Quentin Robertson. 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 swing error. The Kernels strand 1 and have left 5. Keep emailing us your answers to the Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. After 5.5 on a lovely Saturday afternoon in Davenport, the Kernels trail the swing 6-2. You're enjoying Kernel baseball in the zone.
A nod to the man walking his dog. The dog's name is Mickey. Hey, Mickey! Or is that the man's name? Oh, well. Mrs. Johnson tending her garden. Afternoon. Around the corner, past a kid shooting hoops. Nice shot. Moving pretty good now, past the soccer field. Spy a guy jogging and think, now that looks like serious exercise. When I decided to get in shape, I didn't really see myself in a gym or pounding the pavement. No, I went back to one of my first loves, riding a bike. You know that old expression, you never forget how to ride a bike? Well, it's true. And the folks at Hall Bicycle Company found the right bike for me. Sure, they had all sorts of fancy road bikes and mountain bikes, but the sales guy found out what I needed and got me a bike to roam the neighborhoods and bike trails. And now after work, I'm out on a new adventure, and I haven't felt this good since I was a kid riding a bike. Some things never change, and that's a good thing. On 2nd Avenue at 5th Street. Stop by and see for yourself that the world looks better on a bike. Hall Bicycle Company, since 1898.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Mark Schlereth from NFL Live. He brought some gifts to the table today. It's actually a DVD. He's sort of the Tom Amansky of offensive linemen.
That's exactly what I am.
Okay, you teach people how to cheat, hold, bite, kick,
leg whip. No, these are. I made a series of DVDs in the off season. And,
yeah, so did Paris Hilton.
Right. Well,
The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays on ESPN Radio.
Left-handed hit-in catcher Brady Toops helped the swing in their 6-run 5th inning. He singled and scored. Chris Waters' first pitch is fouled into the screen behind home plate, strike 1. What a day for baseball it's turned out to be. Sunshine, a brisk breeze blowing out towards left center, and emails pouring in for
not the Kernel's day.
Not yet.
Not yet. You're right, John.
Here's a drive ripped into right. Warner Madrigal will play it on 1 hop and hold Toops to a long single. And that's the 3rd hit surrendered by Chris Waters.
John, you are the ever-eternal optimist to my ever-eternal pessimist. I think we make a good pair. But you're right. We saw it last night when we thought the Kernels had the game all but wrapped up.
That's right.
Heading into the 8th inning, and we scratched out a run in the top of the 6th, and there's a lot of baseball left to be played.
There really is. And whether the Kernels win this one from coming from behind or fall short, you always... Todd, it's taken me a lot of years. This is my 10th year with the privilege of calling Kernel games. It's taken me a long time to realize that this game is so unpredictable and so wacky at any level, but especially professional Midwest League baseball. And also, it's taken me a long time to realize just how lucky we are to be sitting here behind home plate, whether it's 10-0 Kernels or we trail 10-0. It's still the best job I could ever dream or imagine of having.
John, we still are waiting for a correct answer in our trivia question, but we have had one guess.
There goes the runner, and the throw to second is, it looked good enough to get Toops, but Brady steals second. Michael Collins made a strong peg to Sean Rodriguez, and that was a bang-bang play, but Toops just beat the throw, according to the base umpire. Jeff Lascola. Well, what was the guess that was incorrect?
The guess that was incorrect comes from a Rob Stanton in Port St. Lucie, Florida, so I think we know why he's listening to the game on the Internet today. Rob Stanton guessed the Montreal Expos, so it was not the Montreal Expos.
Great guess, though,
Great guess,
because Pete Rose was an Expo.
Was a member of the Expos as Kernan Ronan comes out to the mound to talk with Chris Waters and Michael Collins, runners on first and second.
Jake Mullinex just threw a walk, that's right. Todd, let's go ahead and, are you checking or going to repeat the question in a moment?
We're checking. We've got a couple more
emails coming in.
A couple more emails have just come in.
Good.
But the question, what team were Cincinnati Big Red Machine stars Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez reunited on in 1983? And we do have a winner. It is Brad Smith, Jesse Smith's brother, in Lincoln, Nebraska, emailing with the correct answer. The Philadelphia Phillies is the correct answer tonight. To my good friend Matt Cray, text messaging me my cell phone and calling me and leaving me a voicemail does not qualify you as a winner on the Kernels Roadshow Trivia Challenge. Congratulations goes out to Brad Smith, who knew that it was the Philadelphia Phillies that those three legendary Hall of Famers, well, two of them are Hall of Famers, played on in 1983.
The other, Tony Perez, should be a Hall of Famer, I think. Don't you, or is he?
I thought Perez was. I was afraid of Pete Rose.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. Rose is, you're right, Perez is. Rose, and we won't get into that. It's the most over-talked about subject on sports radio. I refuse to talk about that subject, but whether Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Ball one low to Wes Swackhammer. Check that. It was a strike from Chris Waters. Thanks to everyone who emailed us with their answers to the Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge. We'll have another one tomorrow afternoon in the
John, we had another guess of Montreal that just rolled in. They take a couple seconds to get in the inbox, but they're timed and date stamped, so we know when you sent them. But it was the Phillies. 1983. I think Sparky Lyle was on that ball club as well as Tug McGraw.
Yep. Ball one inside. I'm losing track of the count with all these great answers to the Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge. Wes Swackhammer, number 8 hitter, 2 for 2 today. Scored a run in that big 6-run outburst by the swing in the last inning, the 5th. Chris Waters delivers, and Swackhammer lifts one foul into one of the sweeps way down the left field line.
Now the big question, was Paul Owens managing Philadelphia at that time?
Now, that's a great guess. I was initially going to say Dallas Green, but no, Dallas Green, I think, had already left to right the Cubs ship for their 84 Central Division championship team. If it was Paul Owens, you're even a greater baseball genius than I thought. I think it was
the late, great Paul Owens. He passed away not too long ago.
It was beyond Danny Ozark's reign.
Maybe not. We'll check.
I don't think Danny Ozark was still around then. Strike 3 called. Wes Swackhammer is called out on strikes, and Chris Waters has retired. Has notched his first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 6-2. The swing is on top, and now they bring in Simon Williams. He has the biggest blow in this game, a 2-run double on a ball hit into shallow center that somehow got underneath the glove of Richard Giannotti.
Well, thank goodness for Google. It's a wonderful thing. Even though Pat Corrales had the Phillies in first place in July of 1983, he was fired by management, and Paul Owens was put in charge of the team.
Wow.
So, Pat Corrales and Paul Owens both managing the team. And that's something, getting fired when you're in first place.
It doesn't happen to too many.
Steve Carlton was also on that team. That team was loaded with Hall of Famers.
A high pop foul over the roof of our press box, and it's 1-1 to Simon Williams. Todd is talking about the answer to our Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. What team were Cincinnati Big Red Machine stars Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez reunited on in 1983? Brad Smith, Colonel starter Jesse Smith's brother, listening in Omaha, Nebraska. Lincoln, answered correctly. The Phillies, strike 2, a changeup from Chris Waters. To the right-handed batter, Simon Williams.
You don't have to be a mathematics whiz to come up with that answer. You just have to be a baseball nut. It's my understanding in conversations with Jesse that his brother is both.
Uncle Charlie rolls
Oh.
off the table.
Oh.
Strike 3 called to Simon Williams. The second time he's been caught looking this afternoon. 2 away now in the 6th inning. Chris Waters doing his darndest to keep the Kernels in the game. Trailing 6-2. Matt Lemancic will bat here in the 5th. Lemancic singled in a run and scored in that 6-run 5th inning for the
John,
Swing.
my knees buckled in the press box on that one. Ooh.
That's how good a yellowhammer Chris Waters fed the number 9 hitter. He comes back with a curve inside to Lemancic. Jamie Douglas, our Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. We'll tell you one unfolded in a minute. Jamie Douglas warming up in the Colonel bullpen.
I think that's an error.
Well, what happened is a fella in uniform here, Colonel Equipment Manager, whenever a ball is anywhere on the field, he came out of that dugout out of nowhere because a ball was uncorked by Jamie Douglas down the right field line toward the Colonel dugout, and the Colonel Equipment Manager, who shall remain nameless, is in uniform, and everybody mistakes him for a coach. He came out of the Colonel dugout and right through his wicket, right, Todd?
Right through the wicket, Ronald. E-E-M, I guess, Air Equipment Manager.
A 2-0 pitch to Lemancic is fouled straight back, and it's 2-1 to Matt Lemancic.
You got to stay down on those and alligator them into your glove. I'll tell him that on the bus ride home.
Jamie Douglas is twirling in the Colonel right field bullpen. He was our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest before the series opening win by the Kernels here Thursday night.
And we know his uncle listens on South Point, Ohio on the internet, and we hope that he has the zone pulled up right now because it looks like Jamie will get an inning or two's work today as Tommy Duenas goes to work on his day off down in the bullpen catching Douglas, the only lefty in the Colonel bullpen, one of only 2 on the staff. Starter Nick Touchstone, of course, the other.
Lemancic pumps one foul over the screen. That runs the count full. The runners will be going now for the swing. Brady Toops from second and Jake Mullinex from first. Chris Waters has a chance to strike out the side here in the bottom of the 6th. It's a 6-2 lead for Quad City. Let's see if Waters throws in behind the runner at second, Brady Toops. The 3-2, he does not, and ripping one foul into the backstop again is Matt Lemancic.
As you said, John, the runners were definitely moving on that pitch, and it's a good thing the ball went behind Lemancic instead of in front of him because he had a pretty good rip on that ball.
Matt is a right-handed batter who put in a full season here in the Midwest League 2 years ago with the then Peoria Chiefs. There go the runners. A pitch whacked to third underneath the glove of Freddy Sandoval. That doesn't happen very often. And 1 run is in. It'll be a 2-base error on the Colonel third baseman. It's now 7-2. Freddy tried to backhand that hard hit ball, and in his defense, it was hard hit, but it was an error. It went under his glove, and that makes it a 7-2 swing lead. Freddy's been so doggone reliable at third base that you really can't be critical at all. That ball went underneath his glove, and a run scored. The runner from first, Jake Mullinex, advanced to third, and Matt Lemancic.
That's a hit? Oh, you got to be kidding.
Well, we'll refrain on comment. That I'm with Todd, but I'm not going to elaborate. He said it all. That's a hit. You've got to be kidding. It was an error on Freddy Sandoval, but they don't call it error. Lemancic's been given a double, and that's one thing that really does kind of grind at me, Todd, and it's that unwritten rule that should be not unwritten. It should be exposed for what it is, and that is whenever there's any chance at home for a home guy to give being credit for a hit. Now, we don't do it at our stadium, to my knowledge. We're pretty straight up on our calls.
We're pretty straightforward. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think we favor the visiting team more than the home team. But in the immortal words, to paraphrase Dave Joppy of the Kane County manager, that's why the game's being played in Davenport today.
All right. They give Lemancic a double, and it's...
Now, the unfortunate thing is now those runs are earned.
Yeah, that's too bad.
If they cross the plate.
And Freddie will tell you that he was at fault making a physical error.
Absolutely.
We are never, ever, hopefully, you should never say never, ever, but we will try our best to never criticize a Colonel player for a physical error because we are not down on the field and we would make an error, Todd and I, on virtually every ground ball and fly ball. These kids fight their hearts out, and That was ruled a double for Matt Lemansek. Now Matt Shepard stands in. It's 2-2 to the switch hitter.
Well, to help better set the mood on this, anyone who's ever seen the movie Major League, Freddy pulled a little bit of a Dorn down at third base and stood off to the side on that ball. It was hard hit.
A deep drive to center. Richard Giannotti backpedals and makes the grab. Matt Shepard flies to center, and that does it for the swing in the sixth. 1 run on 2 base hits. There were no Kernel errors charged, and the swing leave a couple of men stranded. They've left 4. We're still in it. We go to the top of the 7th inning. It's 7-2 swing, and you're listening to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
For the 7th consecutive year, Toyota Financial Services is encouraging elementary students throughout our community to read this summer. Toyota Financial Services believes that inspiring children to read brings families together, fosters imagination, and enhances knowledge. The Gazette shares Toyota Financial Services' belief in the value of reading. That's why they've teamed up to recognize and reward this summer's readers for their fabulous accomplishments. Toyota Financial Services and the Gazette, proud to stand with our community's children to enrich their lives.
We've been telling you for some time that Greg's Lawn Service is a cut above the rest when it comes to caring for your lawn. However, Greg's experienced staff does so much more than lawn care. They offer complete landscape design and installation, concrete curb edging, grading, sodding, and hydro seeding. Yes, Greg's is a complete lawn care service, and they welcome the opportunity to show you why they are a cut above the rest. Give Greg's a call for more details about their wide range of services.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Hello? Yeah, this is Aaron from Georgia. I just wanted to tell Colin that he's a genius, man.
Oh, hold on. Let me get Colin for you. Stay there. I'll get Colin right for you. next to you. Hold on. Let me.
Colin, come here.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, go ahead. This is Colin.
Colin, man, you're a genius. I agree totally with you about the pitching stuff.
Thank you. I feel like I'm a genius.
Don't be left out of The Herd. Only on ESPN Radio.
Top of the 7th. Big crowd at John O'Donnell Stadium. Todd Brummelkamp, Kernel Director of Media Relations. John Rogers bringing you the action. Kernel Baseball. The Kernel's road record this year is a very fine 7-6. We need to do some catching up to make it 8-6. Strike 1 in at the letters to Michael Collins. He's grounded to short twice. He's facing Quentin Robertson for the first time, and there's a swing and a miss.
As John said, a big crowd on hand today. 2,911 people taking in this Genesis Medical Systems Day at the ballpark here at beautiful renovated John O'Donnell Stadium.
I want to talk a little bit more about this stadium, Todd. The 0-2 to Michael Collins is swung on and missed. The ball, though, skips towards the mound and scurrying out there to recover it and throw Michael out as the catcher. Good hustling play by Brady Toops. A strikeout of Michael Collins is completed on a 2-3 putout. When you first drive up to this stadium, whether it's from a mile away or a few feet away, Todd, it is a very welcoming environment because there is vaulted arches. We'll tell you what's happening in a moment. It looks like the pitcher's developing a blister, but there are brick vaulted arches that have it's one of the most attractive, welcoming entrances to any ballpark, not only in the Midwest League, but in all of baseball.
It's absolutely beautiful. It has been in the past. They did a wonderful job to renovate it in the late 1980s. But the big difference now is you used to walk in and go down the steps and to the diamond, and now at the new ballpark, they've kept that beautiful brick facade with the arches. And now you walk up the steps, and it's just like this ballpark opens out to you. When you walk in, it's absolutely amazing with this beautiful green grass, beautiful for late April, I should say, as Jamie Douglas continues to once again warm up in the Kernel bullpen. Just absolutely beautiful. But that was one of the things they wanted to not alienate some of the longtime fans here in the Quad Cities with their renovation project. And it's so historic here, John. You learned from me today that Babe Ruth barnstormed through Municipal Stadium, now John O'Donnell Stadium, on a number of occasions in the 1930s, and that was their way of hanging on and keeping just a little bit of the past as they stepped into the future with this basically brand new state-of-the-art facility here in Davenport, Iowa.
Jordan Renz has taken a couple of pitches from the right-hander for strikes and now takes low and away. Jordan gave the Kernels the lead in this game in the 5th inning with a 2-out single through the middle. That lead was short-lived as the Swing bashed out 8 hits and scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They lead at 7-2 as Renz lays off a fastball low and away. Jamie Torres is warming up, a right-hander in the Swing bullpen, so we could have a pair of Jamies on the mound in the last few innings of this game. The 2-2 to Renz. A curve inside, and it's a full count now to Jordan.
John, did you know, going back to the subject of Paul Owens, that his nickname was the Pope?
I vaguely, and I mean vaguely, remember that.
Paul Owens, a fantastic general manager, not a terrific big league manager. He was only 161 and 158 in his lifetime as a manager, 1-4 in the World Series, but wonderful, wonderful front office job he did for many years there with the Philadelphia Phillies as Renz gets out ahead of one and chops one slowly foul down the third base line.
The next 3-2 pitch, and this one's launched into foul ground, a play for Mike Ferris in front of the Colonel dugout. He has it. Jordan Renz was jammed, and he fouls out to first. Ferris rushed over to his left, and on the warning track material near the end of the Colonel first base dugout, he caught it. 2 away in the Colonel 7th, and Richard Giannotti will bat. Giannotti singled his last time up. The Kernels have been held in check on 5 hits so far through 6 2/3, and are down by 5 runs, 7-2. Richard Giannotti, switch hitting Colonel leadoff batter, pumps one in the air foul over the backstop for strike 1. We'll have a did you know question for you when the Swing come to bat against lefty Jamie Douglas in their 7th inning. But needless to say, Todd Brummelkamp knows a lot about the history of this great area. Todd, how far did you grow up from here?
DeWitt is about 15 to 20 miles north of the Quad Cities here on Highway 61, which of course extends all the way from down south around Burlington all the way up to Dubuque and into Wisconsin. So
a check swing by Giannotti. He held up, and it's 2-1 to Richard. How many major network televisions serve this area?
Well, they have a NBC affiliate and a CBS affiliate on the Iowa side of the river in Davenport, and I believe it's the ABC affiliate that's across the river. Although the CBS one may also be over there.
So they have all 3 major.
Got all 3, and they also have Fox. Take that little dig for what it's worth, but a WB affiliate I think was starting up just as I was heading out to Iowa City and North Liberty, where I live now, and I love coming back to this area. I absolutely love it. But
a 2-2 pitch to Giannotti, and he rips it on the ground into right for a 2-out base hit. Richard Giannotti adds to his .273 average. That's because he's 2 for 4 so far today. Boy, Richard has really, really come alive the last 2 weeks. He was languishing near the 100 mark in the number 9 spot in the Allen Motor Company order, and he has really blossomed, I think, into what is going to be a very fine, consistent leadoff hitter for the Kernels.
Richard's one of those guys that when I get to the ballpark early in the morning is one of the guys that's always doing extra work in the batting cage with Justin Bachman, the Kernels hitting coach. And you could tell he desperately wanted to break out of the funk that he was in at the beginning of the season. For a while there at the beginning of the season, a lot of these guys are on eggshells. They know there are players in extended spring training, as Jason Ramos fouls one back to the screen, that may possibly take their roster spots. And when you're batting 100, you're a little worried about your job security.
Ramos laces one foul past his manager coaching at third, Bobby Magallanes.
And I believe Richard was a little worried, but one of the bright spots for him was he's the only center fielder on the team. His blazing speed allows him to be utilized in many, many ways, and he did a good job learning while he was in the number 9 spot. Now a terrific leadoff man for the Kernels. Ramos calls time and sort of readjusts himself in the batter's box. He's got a pair of batting gloves on and that black-tipped bat, half black, half regular ash-colored.
Strike 3 called to Jason, and a couple of strong innings of relief by Quentin Robertson. He surrendered a run in his 2 innings, and the Kernels come up empty in the 7th despite a 2-out single by Giannotti. It is 7th inning stretch before a crowd of almost 3,000 on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Stay with us. We have a lot more action ahead after 6.5 now, it's the Swing 7, the Kernels 2, and this is Kernel Baseball in the zone.
At Zimmerman's, we believe that the voice of the customer speaks the loudest. Let's hear what our customers have to say.
We chose Zimmerman because our family has been buying cars. I guess we're probably the third generation to buy cars here at Zimmerman.
Our family's bought 18 cars at Zimmerman's. 18. I ought to get a little bonus or something, wouldn't it?
We build our reputation on one satisfied customer at a time. On behalf of everyone at Zimmerman's, I want to thank you for your business.
For just 45 cents a day, you can have 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal delivered to your home or office every business day. That's just 45 cents a day for the insights, analysis, and news relevant to the business of your life. Every business day, the Wall Street Journal delivers the top news from every market, industry, and corner of the globe. But because life isn't just business, the Journal's innovative personal journal section translates today's news into the useful information you need to save time and money. From scoring travel discounts to better banking deals, Personal Journal provides practical guidance you can use. Call now and take advantage of the Journal's special introductory offer. Save 55% off the Journal's news stamp price when you order an 8-week subscription for just 45 cents a day. This offer is available for a limited time to new subscribers in the continental U.S. Don't miss out. Call 800-791-8833. That's 800-791-8833 for the Wall Street Journal.
Southpaw Jamie Douglas is the third Kernel hurler of this afternoon. Starter Fernando Rodriguez went 4 1/3, surrendering 5 runs on 7 hits. They all came in the 5th inning. Chris Waters pitched an inning and 2/3 for the Kernels. The right-hander surrendered 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 2 in an inning and 2/3, walked 1, and lefty Jamie Douglas, who always works from the stretch, is set to go against the heart of the swing order here in the bottom of the 7th. Jarrett, Hoffpauir, Mike Ferris, and Derry Hammond. Ball 1 outside from Jamie. 21-year-old lefty with a 1-1 record, on for the 7th time out of the Kernel bullpen, a 4.15 ERA. A ground ball mashed foul past third, and that's strike 1 to the batter, Jarrett Hoffpauir. Jamie Douglas last pitched. Well, let's see. We had his bio information ready, and I must have tucked it away. He pitched in a doubleheader in Lansing. That much I do remember. Strike 2 called to the right-handed batter. Jamie Douglas last pitched in Game 1 of the Tuesday Twin Bill in Lansing. 1 inning. He has surrendered 3 runs on 3 hits, struck out 2, and he walked 2.
Jamie has had an up-and-down season so far.
Here's a grounder to deep short. It's a base hit off the foot of Sean Rodriguez, and hoofing it into second with a head-first slide is Hoffpauir. That'll be a double.
I can't help but laugh, John, because when things aren't going your way, they really aren't going your way. There was a nice diving attempt made by Sandoval. Rodriguez was there to back him up, and the ball skittered off Rodriguez's foot and shot up his leg and towards left field foul territory in the bullpen over there for the swing, allowing the runner to get to second base. So
yeah, it's a double, and this Jarrett Hoffpauir has 4 doubles in the series. The Swing have a runner at second with nobody out, and left-handed hitting Mike Ferris at the plate. Todd told you about Jamie Douglas, and he's been very solid until his last outing.
He has 1 win and 1 loss with a 4.15 ERA. This is his 7th appearance. 8 2/3 innings for the big left-hander. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's allowed 4 earned runs this season and 8 hits over those 8 2/3 innings. Make it 9 hits.
A ground ball to the right of the first baseman. A good backhanded play by Michael Collins or Ben Johnson, and he underhands to Jamie Douglas. Mike Ferris is gone 3-1, but he does his job. He gets the runner Hoffpauir to third with 1 out. For Derry Hammond, our Kernel Did You Know question. From Davenport, did you know that renowned big league skipper Chuck Tanner managed the Quad City Angels in 1963 and 1964? Well, he did. Chuck Tanner was right here at John O'Donnell Stadium before it was renovated. Derry Hammond, a long deep drive to left, way back at the wall, and Derry Hammond has clubbed a 2-run homer over that 12-foot high wall. and down towards the Mississippi River. It was a matter of time before he burned us, and Geary Hammond has broken it open now. It's 9-2 Quad City. Geary Hammond, a 25-year-old seasoned veteran of professional baseball, has belted his 4th home run of the year.
Geary was only batting 167 against left-handers coming into that bat. He had 6 at-bats and only 1 hit so far this year, and did have 3 RBIs, so he'll nearly double those marks and certainly raise that batting average.
Chuck Tanner was the manager of the 1979 We Are family Willie Stargell-led Pirates. Had a fabulous big league managing career with Pittsburgh, and before that the White Sox, and he got his start right here in Davenport as he skippered the 1963 and 1964 Quad City Angels.
Also managed the Atlanta Braves in the mid to late 80s.
Oh, those awful teams.
Awful teams of the Atlanta Braves. Dale Murphy languishing with those squads. But I just think of all the people that have passed through the league that have gone on and to skipper in the big league level, just like the players they're looking to move up to. We've had one of them in Cedar Rapids, and Dave Miley, the former Cedar Rapids Reds manager, who's now in Cincinnati.
It's 1-2 to Brady Toops, and it's funny you mentioned Dave Miley, how well he is liked. Not only he was well liked, Todd, as a Cedar Rapids Reds skipper, Toops spins around like a top, and fans. Brady Toops with 2 hits and 2 runs scored is gone, and Jamie Douglas has a strikeout. Todd, a guy like Dave Miley, Mike Kuhlbeck, our good friend from the past at the Kernels, and still a good friend. Mike always said that Dave Miley's nickname was Smiley Miley because he always had a good word for people.
That's right, and it took him very far in the Cincinnati organization. He's still there and skippering the big league club. I think upriver, about 50 miles or so in Clinton, Iowa in the 70s, the Clinton Pilots were managed by a man named Jim Leland, who went on to have an extremely successful career with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
A roller over the bag at third. They call it fair. It was a fair ball, and holding on at first with a long single is Jake Mullinax. There's that. Well, let's let it all out with the tough breaks today.
That ball was hugging the line and just refused to skitter to the left of the third base bag and go foul.
So it's an infield single. Freddy Sandoval did backhand it in shallow left as it went right over the bag, like Todd said, and that hit is the third of the inning off lefty Jamie Douglas, and the Swinger pouring it on now. They've out-hit us 14-6, and they're enjoying a big lead, 9-2 here in their half of the 7th inning.
Wendell Kim, who's never managed at the big league level but has been a successful coach, successful depending on whether or not you're a Cubs fan. I know he's not the most popular fan and person in Chicago. He's gone now, but Wendell managed up the river in Clinton. Just a number of guys have come through this league on their way to coaching success at the big league level. Tom Kelly, associated with Clinton, also in the 70s.
PK.
Charlie Manuel, a former manager in Wisconsin Rapids, back when they had a ball club in this league.
1-1 the count to Wes Swackhammer. Jamie Douglas delivers low for ball 2. In talking over Chuck Tanner's managerial reign here in Davenport in the early and mid-60s, Bob Brooks reminded me that Rick Reichert played for Chuck Tanner in 1964. Rick Reichert was a bonus baby football star at the University of Wisconsin, and the Angels made him the proverbial offer he couldn't refuse, a $100,000 signing bonus, and Rick Reichert went on to a fairly solid career as a big league outfielder. 3-1 now, the left-handed batter. A bouncer to first. Ben Johnson, a bad bounce off his elbow into right field, and they'll charge Ben with an error, but that should be a hit because it was a bad hop. But I guarantee.
Who knows how they'll score?
Well, I guarantee you they'll charge him an error because the reason I guarantee it is they always.
There it is.
See, you can't do that. That's a bad hop single. But it's an error on Ben Johnson, and that error is the second of the afternoon committed by the Kernels.
I'm glad I won't be taking the bus ride home today because I have a feeling for about 30 minutes I'd be fielding questions from the manager and the pitching coach about scoring changes that they're going to request after this game.
It was a bad hop single all the way, but they charged Ben with an error. It's first and second with 2 out, and the batter is Simon Williams. Swing and a miss.
And a hero of last night's game, so the swing just keeps its momentum, has certainly swung in the swing's direction and continues to be there. The good thing is we do have 2 outs in this inning, and
that's right.
We're just a couple well-placed pitches as Douglas is already ahead 0-1 away from getting out of the inning.
Jamie fires a strike into the right-handed batter, Simon Williams. It's 0-2. Simon Williams, the key blow in this game, a 2-run double back in the Swing's 6-run 5th inning. They now have tacked on some insurance tallies and are up 9-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Time is called as Michael Collins goes out to the hill.
Must see something that he'd like to talk to Jamie about. Jamie attended the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. I was just down there last December and for New Year's for the Capital One Bowl. And beautiful, beautiful area down there in Orlando, Florida. I don't think I'd go back anytime soon, but certainly see why people enjoy it down there.
From what I hear, it's overcrowded. Ball 1 is a cut fastball low and in, and I don't say that critically of Orlando. I've heard nothing but, like you said, Todd, great things about it as a vacation spot, a retirement area, but I've also heard it's rather congested with traffic.
Well, most cities are down in Florida, but I could tell you some Orlando stories off the air that would make you blanch, John, and that's why I say I wouldn't go back there anytime soon, but Douglas misses with the ball low and away as the count evens at 2 all across the board.
And there's 2 on with 2 out. And the Deuces Wild delivery. Low in the dirt, Jamie Douglas with a changeup, and now Michael Collins steps out in front of home plate to direct traffic. That's another thing that I love about the Midwest League. You could be in a tight ball game or a little bit of a laugher like the Kernels are at the short end of, but everybody is still trying their hearts out to make sure they do things right. The runners go, and a pitch in the dirt loads the bases. Tough inning for Jamie Douglas. He issues a walk to Simon Williams after being ahead of him 0-2, and now the bases are loaded with 2 out, and the batter's Matt Lemancic. He's the 8th man to bat here in the Swing inning, and sternly walking out of the Colonel dugout is Kernan Ronan, and as Kernan has a word with Jamie Douglas, Rick Reichard came out of the University of Wisconsin for $100,000 back in 1964, and do you realize, Todd, that he spent just about a month here in Davenport, and by the end of the year he got a call-up with the then Los Angeles Angels, and he played in Dodger Stadium. People need to remember that Anaheim Stadium was not built until 65. So the Dodgers played their, or the Angels played their first couple of years as tenants in Dodger Stadium.
That's right. That's chump change, $100,000 nowadays. But, boy, back in the day when Riker came out, that was some serious spending money. And
huge money.
Huge money, and really people think that's a recent phenomenon, the bonus babies.
The batter's hit. Matt Lemancic is struck, and now it's 10-2. Crossing the plate from third is Jake Mullinax.
Well, John, here's a question that I want to get to the crux of. I'd like an answer from you. Yesterday you said you'd rather have Lemancic hit a double than draw a walk. Would you rather have him be hit by a pitch with the bases loaded than draw a walk?
Yes, for this reason. For this reason. Jamie Douglas struck him, not on purpose, but when you're down 10-2, I'm not so sure as that Jamie kind of sent a message there, not to hurt Lemancic, but to say, hey, enough is enough. Quit digging in on it.
Well, that could be as he goes inside and low again on Shepard, the new batter for the Swing, Matt Shepard, wearing number 99. I think he's going to go play linebacker after this game is over with that number. But
Matt is batting right-handed for the first time in this series. The switch hitter looks at a strike. Jamie Douglas is on the hill, and he's surrendered a couple of runs, 3 runs as a matter of fact, on 3 hits so far here in this 7th inning. The bases are loaded. The 1-1. Just missed outside. Michael Collins has sure gotten a workout behind the dish this afternoon. It's been a long day in the field for the Kernels. Let's see if Jamie Douglas can come in with a strike to the switch hitter. Yes, a ground ball to short. Rodriguez has it go under his legs. That's an error, and 2-run score.
It better be.
To make it 12-2. Sean had that one go right through his wicket, and that's the kind of day it's been for the Kernels. One that we need to learn from, to be sure, but then we really need to put it behind us. And Todd, that brings up an interesting question. As 2 more runs are home on the 2-run error committed at short by Sean, it's 12-2 now. I've always felt that it's a little easier to come back from a blowout loss like this than it is from a heartbreaking loss like last night.
Well, I thought they were going to be able to use last night to their advantage today, but that has been certainly far from the case. I don't know, John. I am of the school that a loss is a loss,
yep.
and
that's another
they're all hard to come back from, but
Todd,
I agree.
Here's a high fly ball into center, left center, and Richard Giannotti calls off Jordan Renz to make the catch and end the inning. The man who started the inning, Jarrett Hoffpauir, has flown out to center, and all told, the swing strike for 5 runs on 3 hits, a walk, 2 Kernel errors, and Quad City leaves 1 or 2 men on. Yes, they leave 2 men on. They've stranded 6. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and the Swing are romping right now 12-2 over the Kernels, and this is Kernel baseball in the zone.
Who will be the next KCRG TV9 Athlete of the Week, presented by Blair Ridge Dental? Nominate your athlete from any sport at any high school in the KCRG TV9 viewing area by calling Newsline 9 at 365-9999. Nominations are accepted Saturday through Monday. Then Tuesday, see the weekly finalists on KCRG TV9 News at 6. Vote for your favorite nominee by calling City Line. In Cedar Rapids, call 363-7000. Enter category prep. That's category 7737. Or log on to KCRG.com and cast your ballot online. Thursday, meet the winner on KCRG TV9 News at 10. Plus, hear an interview with the newest athlete of the week on Game Day with Scott Unash here on The Zone. And check out the winners gallery posted at thezone1600.com. Catch the KCRG TV9 Athlete of the Week presented by Blair Ridge Dental on KCRG TV9 and here on The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Honey, do I have to go to your family reunion? I mean, how many times can Aunt Agatha tell me about skydiving with monkeys?
It'll be different this time.
Cousin Bob won't talk about his nose hair?
North Country Steakhouse will be catering.
No way.
I can smell the steaks on the grill already. I wonder what kind of potatoes they'll have, baked, fried, or their famous garlic mash.
Aunt Agatha used to skydive with monkeys. Who knew?
North Country Steakhouse. Call 378-3970 to have us cater your next event, because good food conquers all.
Can I come, please?
Uncle Joe is making the Statue of Liberty out of cereal boxes.
Awesome, let's go.
Jamie Torres, who pitched 2 scoreless innings in the Kernel win in the series opener here Thursday night. 2 innings pitched, no runs, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Jamie Torres, a right-hander from the University of California, Berkeley, more commonly known as Cal Berkeley. He's a 5'11" right-hander, and he was taken by the Cardinals, or signed as a non-drafted free agent. The sky has cleared up nicely here as Sean Rodriguez bounces one on 3 hops to second, and Rodriguez is thrown out by Jarrett Hoffpauir. Boy, we still waiting for Sean to kind of show us what he did in the second half at Provo last year, earning the Pioneer League Most Valuable Player award. And I know at age 20, the Angels are going to be very patient and persistent in letting Sean find his stroke.
That's right. Sean has the bloodlines, of course. His father, Johnny, is with the Florida Marlins as a roving instructor in their organization. Older brother Robert is a catcher in the Washington Nationals organization. So the bloodlines are there. He is a young man. They have a vested interest in with the 3rd-round draft pick in him. They have paid a lot of money for Sean Rodriguez, and they'll be very, very patient. As Warner Madrigal takes a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. And
now he swings at a curveball low and away and misses that one. Warner has been silenced at the plate, nothing for 3, but he did reach on an error and score in the 6th inning. It's 12-2 in favor of the Swing, and there's a curve from Torres outside. Quentin Robertson pitched 2 innings. He gave the Kernels a run, unearned, on 2 hits, struck out 3, walked none. He is in the showers in the Swing third base clubhouse, giving way to Jamie Torres. A curve, and that one's knocked on the ground to Jarrett Hoffpauir on 2 hops. Hoffpauir shuttles to his left. shuffles to his left to Spirit, and then on to first to get Madrigal. There were 2 away here in the Colonel 8th inning.
Well, we'll see if Freddy can atone for his fielding mistake earlier in the game with the hit here. Unfortunately, Sean couldn't do it to start the inning, and Warner has grounded out, and this new pitcher, Torres, making short shrift of the Kernels here in the top of the 8th inning. Time running out for Cedar Rapids, and I say that only because I said that last night about the swing right around the time that they rallied. So
that's true.
In essence, I'm trying to give our guys a little bit of a boost, as much as one can from the broadcast booth.
Sandoval falls in the hole 0-2. He took the first pitch at the knees for a strike, now lofts one foul into the crowded bleacher section down the left field line. It's 343 all the way to the base of the wall in left, 400 to dead center, a 12-foot high dark blue wall, and then above it a very dark blue, almost a black net that's another 15 feet high. It provides an ideal backdrop for the hitters here at the newly remodeled John O'Donnell Stadium. It was originally built in 1931, and it was known as Municipal Stadium. Todd told you that earlier. Ooh, a fella almost picked off in a sweep, but he recovers and gets the souvenir. It's still 0-2 to Freddy Sandoval. Freddy added to his team-high RBI total with a run-scoring double in the 6th inning. Freddy's now driven in 14 runs. We'll have another look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. That'll be part of our late inning entertainment. Here's a drive off the fist of the batter, Sandoval into right, and Freddy has his 3rd hit of the day. Freddy Sandoval was jammed, but fought the pitch off and pulled it into right in front of Wes Swackhammer for his 3rd hit, a 2-out single by Freddy Sandoval.
Well, it's never too late for a rally, John, and with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning, let's see what the Kernels can do with 4 outs left in the bank. Ben Johnson, we watched knock several balls out of the stadium in batting practice today. He's had some good swings on the ball, and we'll see if he can put a good swing on the ball here.
Ben is 0 for 3, and a changeup is in from Jamie Torres for a strike. If the Kernels can't rally today and we're down by 10, 12-2, we'll be looking for a series split tomorrow afternoon. A win would give us that split. 140 is South Slope Communications Triple Play show time. 140 with our South Slope Communications Triple Play show. Ben Johnson takes strike 2 at the knees. The outfield plays the switch-hitting Colonel first baseman catcher to go the other way. That's where Simon Williams is in center. He's in left center. Ball 1 low. To Ben Johnson. He was our South Slope Communications Triple Play show guest a few days ago in Lansing and told us how much he enjoyed playing as a Washington Husky in that Pac-12 conference. He told us the coaches at UW, that's what they call it up in Seattle, do a great job of keeping all the local talent in Seattle. A broken bat grounder to first. It's fielded by Mike Ferris, and he underhands to the pitcher covering to end the inning. It went 3-1. No runs. A hit for the Kernels in the 8th inning. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave a runner and have stranded 7 on the afternoon. Todd will have a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. When they swing bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, they lead the Kernels 12-2, and you're listening to Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
Home. The very word brings us all a sense of comfort and stability. It's where families reacquaint and refresh at the end of each day. It's important to have our homes properly insured. See Tanya Sedlock, your professional Pekin insurance agent at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency, about homeowners insurance from Pekin. Providing you with ample home protection at a cost that fits your budget is Tanya Sedlock's area of expertise. You'll be glad you talked to Tanya about homeowners insurance from Pekin Insurance. She's at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency.
I'm Al Michaels with Miracles and Milestones, brought to you by the all-new Kia Spectra 5. More than 2/3 of the men who've coached teams to NBA titles played the sport professionally. Of the 26 coaches who have captured the title since Eddie Gottlieb's Philadelphia Warriors won the first one in 1947, 18 had previously played in either the NBA or the ABA. And 2 of those championship winners, Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics and Buddy Jeanette of the 1948 Baltimore Bullets, performed double duty, winning as player coaches.
If you just found yourself saying, yeah, I knew that, then you could be on your way to winning a new sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5 and other cool prizes. Just log on to ESPN.com, search Kia, and play the Kia Shoot-Around Challenge online trivia game. a lifetime of sitting on your butt watching basketball may finally pay off.
No purchase necessary. Open only to U.S. legal residents who are 21 or older as of the date of entry. Entries must be received by June 6, 2005. Must have valid U.S. driver's license to win grand prize. Void where prohibited. For official rules, go to ESPN.com, search Kia.
The swing roughed up Jamie Douglas a little bit, the Colonel lefty. They sent 10 men to the plate in the 7th inning and scored 5 runs. They lead it 12-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. I think Jamie will have a much better go of it. He'll be facing left-handed hitter cleanup man Mike Ferris. To start the 8th, State Farm Insurance agents Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, Gary Shubat, and Dale Thompson are proud to bring us our second look this afternoon at the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
Well, that's right, and we've got an upset of sorts, a come-from-behind victory by Milwaukee, 6-5 over Cincinnati today.
A grounder to second, and that's easy for Ramos. Jason flips to first, 1 pitch and 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning as Mike Ferris grounds out to second.
That's the only game in the National League to report on at this point. 6-5 again, Milwaukee coming from behind, scoring 5 runs in the final 3 innings of the game, just as the Swing did last night to defeat us, Milwaukee over Cincinnati. Kansas City wins 8-1 in Cleveland today. Denny Bautista the winner. New York comes from behind with a run in the bottom of the 9th to defeat Toronto 4-3.
There's a line shot into left by Derry Hammond, his 3rd hit, and the 15th of the day for the Swing. 1 on, 1 out, as Todd continues to run through the afternoon scores on the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
With catcher Brady Troops digging into bat, it'll be taking a look at Oakland, who's on top of Seattle 5-2 with the bottom of the 4th inning. Oakland has put 1 run on the board in the bottom of the 4th, extending their lead to 5-2. The only other game going on so far today is Tampa Bay and Baltimore, that game at Camden Yards in Baltimore, and the Devil Rays are on top 4-1 in that game in the top of the 4th inning. And that is a look so far at your State Farm scoreboard. It's a heavy menu today, but most of the games being played at 7 o'clock this evening.
And we'll go over those as part of our regular State Farm Major League scoreboard on the Colonel Curtin call. Todd, Brady Toops tried to get out of the way of a breaking pitch, but he couldn't. I think it got him in the middle of the back.
Right in between the shoulder blades, the square of the back, as they like to say, and Brady is out at first. Derry on second.
Second hit batsman by Jamie.
I don't know. 3rd base. Anyway, Patrick will come up to bat. He's a pinch hitter, I do believe.
Yes,
Patrick
he is.
Played 3rd base against the Clinton Lumber Kings on Wednesday night. It's Chris Patrick. He's batting .333 in just 4 games. He's a recent acquisition of the Swing. I shouldn't say acquisition, a recent promotion for the Swing. No home runs. He struck out 4 times in 15 at-bats, so it's all or nothing with Chris Patrick.
Chris, a right-handed batter, hits a double play ball to short underneath the glove of Rodriguez, and Derry Hammond will churn home to make it 13-2. A hard-hit ball to be sure, but one Sean could have started a double play on. Instead, Derry Hammond scores, and Brady Toops stopped at second. That'll be the 4th error committed by the Kernels this afternoon. A tough play, but Sean unable to come up with it on one hop, and it should be an error, but I hate to say this, they're probably going to give the batter a hit because there's a long delay, and whenever there's a long delay, it usually means the home team. And I know Kernan Ronan's going to cringe if he sees an H up on that scoreboard. It really needs to be an error on Sean.
Well, if they give him a hit, they're going to say it didn't touch his glove, but that's just sheer stupidity.
Here's a looper fair down the left field line. It falls for a base hit, and that'll make it 14-2.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, they did give him a hit on that last.
Who is scoring this game?
Well, wait a minute. Well, I'm with you, Todd, but I've learned through the 10 years that it's just not worth that fight. And I'm only telling you as a friend. I agree with you. I'm with you, but
well, Kernan Ronan he's shaking his head vehemently.
And I agree. And something will have to be done because this is turning into a travesty in terms of scoring a ball game fairly. But we're going to have to let that be channeled through the right, that transgression be addressed through the right channel, and it'll be Kernan Ronan and the Colonel staff. If necessary, Jack Rader will go to bat for the Kernels and say, hey, wait a minute, guys. Things are getting out of hand here with these errors being called hits. Another hit for Wes Swackhammer. He's at first as he dumps an RBI single down the line and left, and it's become a laugher now for the Swing as they lead it by the score of 14-2.
We had to look up the scoreboard to see how things are going, and I will apologize to the people listening at home. Gets the better of me sometimes, but
I understand.
As a baseball fan, that's ridiculous. You know an error when you see one.
A bouncer to third. Sandoval steps on the bag for one, throws in the dirt, but Ben Johnson dug it out. Simon Williams is hit into an inning-ending 5-3 double play. And in the eighth, the Swing...
Data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
Coffee works when it's important to you. Coffee works, let your work shine through.
When you think of copies, think of CopyWorks. High-speed copying, color copies, oversized copies, manuals, booklets, graphic design, posters, banners, and presentations. CopyWorks does it better. When it's important to you, CopyWorks lets your work shine through. When you think of copies, think of CopyWorks.
Kernels bat in the ninth inning. Remember, this game was scoreless through 4 innings, and the Kernels took a 1-0 lead in the fifth, but it's been a downhill ride ever since, a steep decline. It's 14-2 Swing, and we go to the ninth. It'll be Aaron Peel, Michael Collins, Jordan Renz to face a right-hander out of Siena College, Justin Knopf, Knoff. Knopf was a Rule 5 draftee by the Cardinals. He was with the Cincinnati Reds organization, so the Reds are pitching poor. They gave up on Justin Knopf. The Cardinals saw something in him, and they signed him up.
This is like a Midwest League semi-all-star team, the Swing of the Quad Cities. They've got Derry Hammond, the former Beloit snapper, and the former Dayton Dragon, and Justin Knopf. And you could even say they have Peoria players on their roster, since the Peoria Chiefs were a Cardinals affiliate for the last several years.
Aaron Peel fouls one to the screen. It's 1-1 to the Colonel DH and number 7 hitter. Knopf, a right-hander, pumps one in high. Knopf broke in 2002 with the Red organization, pitched in 13 games with the Gulf Coast League Reds. Spent a couple of years hurling in Billings, Montana. There's a little looper into shallow right. It does get down. Aaron Peel lost a Texas League base hit in front of Wes Swackhammer. And the Kernels have their 8th hit of the afternoon.
Knopf even spent one game with Double-A Chattanooga in his debut year of 2002. Probably very similar to the Carl Jelinek situation where he was at Triple-A because they didn't have a roster spot for him. And obviously that situation later in the season was probably a temporary thing, just a stopgap for them. But Chattanooga Lookouts, one of the classic logos in minor league baseball. At so times you see organizations do wacky things like the Swing, and that timeless C with the eyeballs is watch out. There's a
Michael Collins had one sail over his head for a wild pitch, and the only reason we're chuckling is there's no way in a 14-2 game that Knopf is trying to hit Michael Collins.
Also chuckling because I did not get a chance to see the speed rating on that ball, but it looked like it was about 70 miles an hour at the top. Collins just sort of nonchalantly ducked his head out of the way and looked back and had a grin on his face when he looked back at the home plate umpire.
I want you to describe in further detail in a moment, Todd, that irrepressible Chattanooga Lookout logo, because it is worth describing. Michael Collins lifts one foul over the screen, 1-1 to Michael.
Well, the Lookouts and I think of the Carolina Mudcats, where my good friend Nick Ungs pitches for currently, the Durham Bulls, the classic minor league logos. And so many times you see organizations like the Quad Cities franchise that had a great name in the River Bandits, and they change it all in the name of making more money and more profits. And then you have organizations like the Lookouts in Chattanooga that have stuck by that logo for years. It's a simple block C with a pair of eyeballs. It's a red hat with a white C and a white pair of eyeballs that are sort of googly-eyed. And they are a Reds affiliate, have been for a long time, as Knopf unleashes one that the catcher has to jump up, and Toops does a nice job of snaring it and bringing it down. But Chattanooga, of course, the base of the Lookout Mountains in Tennessee, and that's where the name comes from. They've had that name for a long, long time in Chattanooga.
It's 2-1 to Michael Collins. The right-hander deals, and a deep drive to right. Way back at the wall. It's off the top of the 12-foot high wall and right, and it's a double for Michael Collins. It darn near hit that yellow stripe at the top of the wall, Todd. It was that well hit. Michael Collins flashing one deep into right center, high off that 12-foot high wall. He must have missed a home run by 1.5 feet.
If that, John, but the way things have gone for the Kernels today, Aaron Peel had to wait and see if he needed to tag up on that ball, so he's stuck at third base. We don't even get an RBI on the play. There are no outs. Jordan Wren's at the plate, and we'll see if he can bring home Peel. Hopefully Collins as well, but that's sort of the way the things have gone for the Kernels today. The ball hung up there, and Peel did the right thing. Needed to make sure that he didn't need to tag and would get thrown out, but no run score on that long fly ball by Michael Collins.
Now Jordan Wren cuts away at an 0-1 pitch and misses. Strike two. It's 14-2. We're in the top of the ninth, and the swinger on top, but the Kernels have runners at second and third with nobody out. The tall right-hander Knopf delivers, and a swing and a miss. Strike three on Jordan Wren. One out, and we go to the top of the order. Richard Giannotti has singled his last two times up.
Richard continues his hot hitting, and hopefully with one out here, he can single for a third time up. Jason Ramos on deck.
Giannotti with that RBI chance that Todd talked about. Second and third, one out. And Justin Knopf misses outside.
Just misses outside. That was a tough pitch to lay off, but Giannotti did a good job of taking that pitch low, but it was on the corner. Would have been a strike if it would have been just a little bit higher.
Richard thumbs one off his fifth foul into the third base seat. Big crowd here today. Most of them are still here, 2,911. You can be part of all the fun we have to offer starting Monday night. We open up an 8-game homestand, and included in it is Nurses Recognition Night on Wednesday, May 4th. Giannotti stays alive as he punches one in this foul off to the left.
A Wednesday night, did you say? That's a Bucket Cup Wednesday night. That'll be nice for all the nurses. I know my good friend Tony Frank, who's a nurse down in Iowa City, a male nurse, like the popular character in the movie Meet the Fockers. Tony is looking forward to coming up to Nurses Appreciation Night, I believe, next Wednesday.
That's great. Here's one sent straight up the chute on top of the roof above us is where it lands, and it's still 1-2 to Giannotti. Todd, you mentioned how distinctive the Chattanooga Lookout logo is, and that brings to mind the change in affiliation out in Utah. Provo is no longer in the league, but a few miles up the road, Orem is. And the Orem Owls, we have, thanks to Andrea Murphy, ordered some Orem Owls hats. That's the one of two rookie teams that the Los Angeles Angels will field come June. And a brand new team, and their logo is very popular. I've been told by Andrea's staff in the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop that a lot of Orem Owls hats have been purchased.
That's right. It's a giant pair of eyeballs with some
high pop foul, and giving chase is Jake Mullinax at third, but
some very owl-like features. I'll see if I can do a better job of describing it as things come to mind a little bit. I know they were chided a little by Baseball America for spelling owls with a Z. That's along with putting the name of the city or the name of the team in front of the city, like Swing of the Quad Cities, one of their least favorite things. But there's the logo and the mascot. John, I'll let you take a stab at describing that. It is fearsome, let's put it that way.
That's a good word. Giannotti takes strike three called on the outside edge, and Richard battled, but he was done in on a Nick Monaco strike three call. The plate umpire rung up Richard. I would say that there's a yellow beak a yellow sharp beak, and then two very big,
menacing big
eyes, yellow and black.
Eyes with a sort of a furrowed, feathery-looking brow.
Now, does the cap actually have the eyelids that close?
It's the eyes are open on the cap.
Okay. On the
We're
website.
looking at the flash on the website, and then they also have the red hat with the blue bill and a white O that is encompassed in talons that mark the owls, but their merchandise has been flying off the shelf walls. Of course, Provo was just the Provo Angels. It's kind of hard to sell your merchandise there, but their website is oremowls.com, and of course, as John mentioned, the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop carries some Orem Owls merchandise.
Strike is in to Jason Ramos, the switch hitter, batting with runners at second and third, 2 away in the top of the ninth. The Kernels trailing by 12, 14-2. Ramos skies one down the line and left. It's going to be a foul ball by a foot. Foul ball. It would have scored 2. It would have scored 2. It landed beyond the reach of Lemancic and left, and the little shortstop Matt Shepard hustled way out down the line. Jason Ramos is even on the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Top of the ninth inning, and the Kernels trying to at least get some momentum for tomorrow afternoon series finale. Would love to see if Jason Ramos can come through here in the clutch against tall right-hander Justin Knopf.
I would start a thought here, but the inning is about to end on a
swing and a miss.
A swing and a miss. Actually, the game comes to an end.
Right at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. No runs for the Kernels in the ninth inning. A pair of hits. Boy, the Kernels had 9 hits this afternoon. There were no swing errors, and the Kernels leave a pair. We left 9 men on, just as we did last night. All Quad City after a scoreless first 4 innings. We'll give you the totals and highlights and more coming next on the Colonel Curtain Call. 14-2 swing, and this is Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's your patio? Charbroiled sausage flipping man with the buns, who's your patio?
You don't make them slam it, 'cause it's number one for taste and fun.
Econo Foods is the place to save on Clements Fine products this week. Shop Econo Foods for hot pricing on Clements.
Mike in the Morning's Just Shut Up Award is about more than merely pointing out stupidity.
It's about the Bill of Rights and basic cable, car waiting, and free trips to the salad bar. It's about everything that makes this country great.
Yes, it's about freedom. Freedom for people to say something completely moronic.
Shut up!
And it's also about the freedom for you to tell that person to
just shut up.
So exercise that freedom. Tuesday mornings with Mike in the Morning on ESPN Radio.
Honey, do I have to go to your family reunion? I mean, how many times can Aunt Agatha tell me about skydiving with monkeys?
It'll be different this time.
Cousin Bob won't talk about his nose hair?
North Country Steakhouse will be catering.
No way.
I can smell the steaks on the grill already. I wonder what kind of potatoes they'll have, baked, fried, or their famous garlic mash.
Aunt Agatha used to skydive with monkeys. Who knew?
North Country Steakhouse. Call 378-3970 to have us cater your next event, because good food conquers all.
Can I come, please?
Uncle Joe is making the Statue of Liberty out of cereal boxes.
Awesome, let's go.
It's time for the Colonel's Curtain Call, right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM. with a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Kernels game. Let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
And on a great Saturday afternoon in Davenport, the Quad City Swing erupted for several big innings, and they pummeled the Kernels here today 14-2. The Colonel Curtain call. Todd Brummelkamp is alongside. I'm John Rogers. We do have to accentuate the positive, and that is the performance of Fernando Rodriguez. Through 4 innings, the Colonel right-hander gave up no runs on only 1 hit to the swing, and the Colonels broke a scoreless game in the 5th inning. They did so on a big 2-out single by Jordan Renz through the middle that scored Aaron Peel, who had walked in the 5th inning, and the Colonels enjoyed a short-lived 1-0 lead as we headed to the fateful bottom of the 5th inning. In that bottom of the 5th, the swing KO'd the Colonel starter Fernando Rodriguez, and they sent 10 men to the plate in the 5th inning, and they scored 6 runs on 8 hits. The Colonels bounced back with a run in the top of the 6th inning. Freddy Sandoval, who had 3 of the Colonel 9 hits this afternoon, chased home Warner Madrigal with an unearned run, and that made it 6-2 Quad Cities. But then the Swing came back with yet another big inning. They scored 1 in the 6th to make it 7-2, and then they put 5 across in the 7th inning. They sent 10 men to the plate in that inning and scored 5 runs, tacked on 2 more for good measure in the 8th inning, and walloped the Colonels today 14-2. The final line score for the Swing, 14 runs, 17 hits. They committed an error, and they stranded 7. The Colonels had 2 runs, 9 hits, committed 3 errors, probably should have been charged with at least 1 more, and the Colonels stranded 9. The winning pitcher for Quad City, it was the starter Dennis Dove. The right-hander goes to 1-2. The Colonel loser was Fernando Rodriguez, who's now 1-1 on the year. There were 2,911 here to see the ball game, and it took 2 hours and 57 minutes. The Swing 14, the Colonels 2, and up next on the Colonel Curtain call, our Access Direct play of the day. This is Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
I'm Dave Shea. For 35 years, I was news anchor for Channel 2. Now, with gas prices at $2 a gallon, check out Randy Kill Honda and save with great fuel mileage on all Hondas in stock. The safest family sedan, the Honda Accord, will definitely save the family pocketbook with 34 miles to the gallon. Get even better mileage with a compact Civic, getting you there at 38 miles to the gallon. Or check the amazing fuel mileage of the Honda Civic Hybrid, 48 miles to the gallon, and that's in city driving. Randy Kill Honda has a large selection of pre-owned Hondas, too, all with exceptional fuel mileage. Check them out at www.randykiel.com. Also, Randy Kiel offers a 7-year, 100,000-mile confidence guarantee on new vehicles. You can take my word for it, but you may also want to talk with other Honda owners. They're people you know, your friends, your neighbors, maybe even your relatives. I'm saving on gas prices by driving my Honda, and you can too. See Randy Kiel Honda on Center Point Road, Northeast.
The Swing of the Quad Cities own a 2-1 lead in this series by virtue of their 14-2 rout of the Colonels this afternoon. We're pleased now to continue on the Colonel Curtain call with our Access Direct play of the game. Access Direct is hiring. They are hiring, and they need team players, perhaps you. To join the Access Direct team, you can log on to www.accdir.com, or you can call Access Direct at 261-0260. Access Direct has a fun, friendly atmosphere in which to work, an hourly starting wage of $8.50, terrific benefits that include a 401k savings plan and medical, dental, and vision insurance, all of that with flexible hours, full and part-time schedules. Access Direct, proud to bring us our Access Direct Colonel play of the game. It took place in a scoreless duel in the Colonel 5th inning. Aaron Peel drew a 1-out walk, and on a 2-out pitch to Jordan Renz, he scored. Jordan Renz drove in his 8th run of the season, grounding a single past the starter Dennis Dove into center field, scoring Aaron Peel. Renz's 2-out clutch RBI single, our Access Direct play of the game. We'll be back in a moment and have all the scores for you from this afternoon, plus a look ahead to this evening's action on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. 14-2 swing. This is Colonel Baseball in the zone.
Yes, spring is here. So is the bulky item cleanup in Cedar Rapids. Only specific wood and plastic articles are being accepted. The complete list is on the flyer you recently received in the mail. Be sure to check that flyer before putting out any items for city crews when they come to your neighborhood. If you have appliances, tires, and scrap metal you want to get rid of at no charge, follow the instructions on the back of the flyer. This reminder from your friends at Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling.
I cannot stay anyone but you. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me? Don't tell me wrong from right. I know just what I like. Yeah, call me crazy, I don't care. Come feel the joy all around each generation. It's time they got their own kind of sound. Come to shout it out. Listen to it, Bessie.
The grounds crew prepares the diamond below for the series finale here tomorrow afternoon. The Kernels, with a win, will gain a split with the Swing, who took us apart pretty well today, 14-2. State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Lanny Peterson, Dale Thompson, and Gary Schubat are now proud to bring us our look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. And with the afternoon action, plus a look ahead to tonight's games, here's Colonel Director of Media Relations, Todd Brummelkamp.
One final to report from the National League. It was Milwaukee coming from behind with a run in the bottom of the 9th inning to win, walking away 6-5 at Miller Park against Cincinnati. That's the only action completed in the National League so far. The Cubs are in Houston at the Juice Box tonight. That game starts at 6:05. Also, Florida at Philadelphia as a 6:05 start. The Mets and the Nationals in our nation's capital. That is 6:05 as well this evening. Waiting for these games to get underway. Another 6:05 start features San Francisco at Pittsburgh. St. Louis and Atlanta rekindle their budding rivalry in Turner Field at 6:05 tonight. At 9 o'clock, Arizona takes on my San Diego Padres at Petco Park. And at 10 after 9, it'll be the Dodgers and the Rockies from Chavez Ravine. That's a look at the National League portion of the State Farm scoreboard. Now let's turn our attention to the junior circuit. Kansas City over Cleveland 8-1 today. Denny Bautista, the winning pitcher against Cliff Lee. The Yankees come from behind to win in the bottom of the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium, 4-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays. The game in Oakland between the Athletics and the Mariners is now 5-4 Oakland going into the bottom of the 6th. Tampa Bay is on top of Baltimore, even though Baltimore is mounting a comeback currently. That game right now is 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th with the Orioles batting. Games later on tonight at 6 o'clock, or 5 after 6, I should say, from Sox Park in Chicago. It's the White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Our Los Angeles Angels take on the Minnesota Twins up I-35 at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome tonight at 6:10. Also, Boston, the defending World Series champions, take on the Texas Rangers. That game is at 7:05 tonight. That's our Major League action and a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard.
Brought to us by State Farm Insurance agents Lanny Peterson, Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, and Gary Schubat. This afternoon, it was the Quad City River Bandits dismantling the It was the Swing of the Quad City dismantling the Kernels 14-2. The Kernels, though, a fresh start tomorrow. It should be another lovely day for baseball, and Todd and I will look forward to bringing you the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show at 1:40 with the game time of 2 o'clock. Please join us, won't you? It will be the conclusion of an 8-game road trip, and a Kernel win would not only make it a 2-2 series here in Davenport, but a 4-4 road trip when you count our splits of 2 doubleheaders in Lansing. And then we come home for the first of 8 starting Monday night, May 2nd. 14-2 swing, our in-studio engineer, Jake Lentz. Jake, thanks for all of your dynamite work as usual. Thanks to my broadcast partner and friend Todd Brummelkamp. I'm John Rogers, wishing you a great rest of your Saturday evening from the banks of the Mississippi. This has been Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.